Right now is the moment you've all been waiting for. The return of Good Morning Pop Culture. It's Tuesday, August 28th, 2018, and we have a jam-packed show that you can't afford to miss a moment of. Now, this morning it started a little early because I wanted to talk about this past weekend at Horror Hound before we get into the topics proper. So, as you know, this weekend was a red-letter date in the history of world-class bullshitters. We attended our first convention. If you were fortunate enough to catch us live, then you saw one of the greatest things on the internet, Turkey Dion. Now it was more than just a dude in an inflatable turkey suit. It was love in the grandest style. It was a smile from Shannon Doherty, a handshake from Lance Henriksen, and a hug from Billy Zane. It was also hilarious, so I recommend you watch the video before it's too late. This weekend also came with a chance for us to hang out with some of our friends from the channel. And what surprised me the most was just how many people showed up. We met Jeff the Iron Wolf and his lovely wife. Tim Riggs did bring the dildo. We met Jeremy Peerboom, who drove over 8 hours just to hang out with us at the bar. We met Brian, who was a damn nice guy. Cowabunga was a fellow Cobra Kai member who always sweeps the leg. Dr. Coffin Nails brought us a CD to rock out to. Dan showed up and was friendly as can be. And we had a lightsaber-wielding gentleman who was full of great ideas. Then we met two guys who went above and beyond. First off, GrendelFan84, or Drew from Comics Elite, showed up on Friday night and was not only kind enough to bring me a stack of comic books as a gift, but he stuck around and gave us a tour and then had dinner with us at St. Elmo's Steakhouse. We had steak and some of the hottest shrimp cocktail in history, and it was just a fantastic night overall. And then Drew came back on Saturday, and we hung out again, had dinner, and then went down to the bar for the after party. And then it was Sunday where we met Adam Shawhan. And Adam is one of those rare cases where you meet someone and their story sticks with you. Now, I won't go into personal details on his life because, they're private, but he was in a low place and he told me that this show has helped him out. And now I've heard people say that stuff in the past and I've thought, how? But after meeting Adam, I get it. And all I can say is thank you. So, folks, if we come to your town, don't miss out because we bring the party. Hell, we are the party. World Class Bullshitters is a party everywhere we go, and it was just a whole hell of a lot of fun. So this was Horror Hound Indianapolis 2018, and if you missed out, well, then you missed out. And now let's see here. Morning to everyone who's here. Yes, we're a little early, so let's see. Good morning to Mr. V, Amy Minty, Andre Lubinsky, Anton from Northern Ireland. Deadpool. Oh, it's National Power Rangers Day. Well, you know what, Deadpool, since you reminded me, maybe towards the end of the show, we'll talk about that in a little more detail. Hello to Kenneth LaRock, Dr. Coffin Nails. It was nice to meet you in person, my friend. T-Moose, we'll be talking about the Disney streaming service in a little bit. Hello to Yakase as well. And Wiseman, King Psyduck. Oh, God, Psyduck. Never mind. We'll talk about Pokemon another day. Alpha Terranima, I'm glad it's a slow day at work for you too. So we're going to obviously wait till we get to our magical number of 200, but because we started early, we're throwing some people off. So let me tweet out the link and tell everyone that it's time for Good Morning Pop Culture and not to miss it because they're going to hate themselves if they do. So let's see, copy that. Go to Twitter. La la la, we're doing this at live time because, why not? It's that kind of show today. Boom. There's the notification for everyone who's out there. And we're catching up quickly. There's Adam Shawhan. It was nice to meet you, dude. It was a lot of fun. Folks, you go to these shows thinking, hey, maybe one or two people will come up and talk to us. No, we had more people at our table than some of these vendors that have been working at these shows for a long time. Hell, Judge Reinhold came up to the table under his own power. I didn't say, hey, Judge, check out our show. He came up and took up a card, and I told him that we were all fans and how much we like his work. And he took one, he told me thanks, and it's bizarre to think that Judge Reinhold has a business card with my face on it, and he'll probably listen to the show one of these days, and then he'll hear us talk about how much we love Beverly Hills Cop, and then we'll all be best friends. If not, well, let me dream. The picture from episode 9 doesn't look too good. No, none of them do. We talked about those on Friday's Good Morning Pop Culture. They looked like the talented Mr. Ripley meets Planet of the Apes meets Dion's Worst Nightmare meets Star Wars. There were no weapons, no guns, or anything like that. It was Chewbacca and a horse and all that, stupid shit. Lost Cause, we will host in Denmark next time. It's on our list of things to do. Get Stealing Solo done, launch the website, go to Denmark. The High Council is on Ethan's channel tonight, so Comic Artist Pro Secrets. So you don't want to miss out on the High Council. We got a lot of shit to talk about. I've heard that Jeremy from the Quartering will be stopping by, and that dude has been on fire as of late. All of our channels have been on fire as of late. We've been growing like crazy. I mean, one day we're at 70,000. Now we're well past 72,000. You just can't keep up with this shit. I mean, I keep wanting to put out an anniversary special like, hey, guys, we hit a nice round number. Let's celebrate. Let's talk. No. Everyone just keeps subscribing, so I have to wait. But we'll hit 100,000 before you know it, and I will go above and beyond to make a video. I may not cry. I may not go collect boulders, but I'll give you guys something damn memorable. So there we go. No, it's not Jeremy. Jeremy's going to be here. Jeremy's actually in Florida right now. Well, he lives there, but he's at Disney World with all the Geeks and Gamers crew. So if you want to check out those videos, I suggest you check out Geeks and Gamers. They're a lot of fun. It's cool to see those people walking around. Judge is going to check to see if that video shows up. What's he going to do? I don't think Billy Rosewood has enough relevancy to get people to care if he tries to sue a YouTube channel, which would be sad because you guys know how we feel. There's that stack of Beverly Hills Cop shit, that new Blu-ray I picked up. But, oh well. Turkey Dion versus Jason. Who will win? Let's see. Cesare Japan. Why don't you watch the video and tell me if you think Michael Myers beat the turkey? Because there was a face-off in there. But to answer your question about Jason, I don't know. Jason doesn't die, but neither does Turkey Dion. He'll dance his way to safety. I did hear about the rumor of Oscar Isaac playing Batman in the future. And no. I'm not a fan of Oscar Isaac playing anything in the future that's genre-related. He can take his stupid comments and keep them in his pocket, and if you get what that's from, well, then you're truly my friend. And he can just ride off into the sunset after Poe Dameron go fucks himself in the next movie. I'm not worried about Oscar Isaac. We've had this discussion before on the channel. The Star Wars crew really only had one person that was a huge success after the films, and that was Harrison Ford. The prequels didn't make any big stars because Samuel L. Jackson and Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson were all either well-known actors or very famous actors before the prequels hit. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson had been in tons of stuff, so the prequels didn't really do much but add to his resume. Natalie Portman had been in a bunch of stuff as a child actor, so you guys know how these things go. And I don't think Oscar Isaac, Daisy Ridley, or John Boyega, Boyega, are going to have much of a change of that. It's just going to be, oh, we were in Star Wars. Well, you were in the bad Star Wars. And then people will remember, oh, yeah, you were the one that called people all these terrible racist names on the internet. And then it's like, oh, well, good luck getting the fans behind you. I mean, look at the fans getting behind somebody like a Nathan Fillion or an Alan Tudyk or just actors like that who have so much goodwill with the fandom that they get cast in big stuff because they know that the people that make these movies know that there is an audience out there for these people. These actors, these celebrities have a following because of their goodwill and just overall good attitude towards life. And when you get these actors who think their shit don't sting, let's be honest, those people turn a lot of people off and they don't have the same appeal. They get cast in the stuff because maybe they have the talent, but they don't have that goodwill where people are going to go out of their way to champion an actor to get a certain role. Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, thank you very much for the first super chat of the morning. Raise his glass to Dion, an absolute champ. Damn right, Dion is an absolute champ. Dion, you hear us talk all the time. You finally got to see us in action, and you know what we're all about. We're all about fun. We're a group of dudes that just love doing what we do. And the turkey suit was a joke here on the channel, and I believe it was I'm Into Film that said, hey, here's that super chat, go get Dion the turkey suit. And we got it. And now we created a classic world-class bullshitters moment. So there will be a turkey suit Dion shirt. There will be turkey suit Dion moments at every convention we go to. But you're going to have to wait until maybe October for that. Speaking of October, what's up, Jeff the Iron Wolf? Good morning. It was really nice to meet you and your wife. I know you had to work, so hopefully next time when we hang out, you'll have like a whole day off the next one, and we can party hard and do it up right. But by the way, I wanted to thank Metalhead Zaki for the support. and the congratulations on the Indiegogo. Before we start today's morning main feature, let's see where Stealing Solo is at. So right now, Stealing Solo is at, wow. See, I don't look at this every day because yesterday was a day for me. I needed to relax and get some sleep because I went on Ethan's Comicsgate stream the other night and I couldn't barely stay awake. I had been up, the whole weekend and I was burnt out. So instead of mumbling and stumbling over those guys, I just, was there and I stayed a little quiet, but it was really an honor to meet Doug TenNapel. And he picked up a copy of Stealing Solo and I told my mom about who he is and Earthworm Jim and she goes, wow, that is cool. And I thought, yeah, that is really cool. So Stealing Solo is a thing. It's something that people want. It's something that I want to give. I'm going to be altering the perks for the better, and I'm going to be doing the stretch goals like those guys. So once I hit the same stretch goals, you'll get the trading card and all that stuff. And I got a new idea for a poster. This Stealing Solo face is no longer going to be the poster. There's all kinds of exciting stuff. So as we sit right now, we're at $13,265 raised by 311 backers. So we're already at 66% of our goal. So I can only imagine where this thing ends. And speaking of the end, when it does end, it will be on my 30th birthday party. So I'll be live out with all the bullshitters on location celebrating my birthday. But Turkey Dion will be there in the final hours to help, build awareness and get the thing rolling. So I just want to take the time right now to thank everyone for your early support with Stealing Solo. After this show, I'm getting my ass right back to the drawing table, and I'm going to keep pumping out the pages and give you guys all kinds of nice tastes of the book so you can get really excited and you guys can jump in because this is not going to hit stores. This is exclusive, as you know, just like a lot of these projects. Once they're gone from Indiegogo, well, they're gone forever. And I don't want anyone else having control over how you can get Stealing Solo. It's in one place and one place only. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be talking about that more regularly now that I'm back, the convention's over, and I'm ready to get things back to the way they used to be. So thank you to everyone. Let's see who else. We had Justin DeRosa. Morning, Jeff. Sorry I've been away in the new World of Warcraft. Wanted to see about getting on a live stream. I'm a patron. How's that work? Well, Justin, glad you asked because now that we're back from the convention, the schedule's still a little tight right now, but let me tell you how this works. So what you do to get on a Patreon stream is you go over to the Patreon and shoot me a message and say, hey, I'd like to do a stream about X, Y, and Z, and we'll tell you when we have an open spot. If you want to do a movie commentary, we can either do it on a Wednesday with just Kendo, Nick, and I, or if you want something with Dion, it's got to be on a weekend. And we'll just make it happen. So we'll be in contact with you. Justin, thank you for being a patron and supporting us. And we'll, by the way, folks, I think I finally figured out how to use that damn t-shirt press. So I wanted to go to the show with World Class Bullshitter shirts and, we were going to match and look like, a group of guys. But because I couldn't figure out how the shit worked, we all just dressed in our own gear. So Dion and I took the low-class business approach, aka button-down shirts and shorts. We still looked all right. And Kendo and the other guys had the shirts that they bought from me in the past. So thank you to everyone. And let's see. Cobra Viper, Jeff, when it gets 20K, I'll burn my copy of Moonraker. Well, Cobra Viper, your copy of Moonraker will be getting burned relatively soon. So just be prepared. And if you film it, I'll put it here on the channel just for you. Golf Nerd, happy National Power Rangers Day to you. Grand Inquisitor says, Jeff, it was my birthday on Sunday. I'm getting too old for this shit. Well, Grand Inquisitor, happy belated birthday to you, my friend. Everybody in the chat, wish the Grand Inquisitor a birthday wish, celebration, if you will. You're never too old for world-class bullshitters. You could be too young for the show. And it was weird. We had a couple kids come to the table and take business cards. And I thought, I hope they don't listen to this show because we're talking like 5 to 10-year-olds. And they're like, Grand Theft Auto. And then I thought to myself, if they know Grand Theft Auto this well, maybe the show isn't too extreme for them. But at the end of the show, we'll talk about National Power Rangers Day. But we have a ton of stuff to talk about right now, and we are well over the 200 viewers. So let's get into this. So let's talk about this James Bond situation because it's bizarre to say the least. So this news came out on Sunday. Now, let me give you guys a quick refresher of the situation. So James Bond, 25, was slated to be directed by Danny Boyle. And you know Danny Boyle from stuff like Train Spotting, 28 Weeks Later, and Slumdog Millionaire. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But Danny Boyle was attached to direct. Actually, it was officially announced that he was going to direct James Bond 25. Benobi, thank you very much. Thank you to everyone, by the way, who's wishing the Grand Inquisitor a birthday. See, that's the thing I said to Dion and the guys when we were at the show. We have a lot of awesome people that listen, and they come out and they hang out, and they're great people in person. But online, they're all really great people, too. I don't see people talking shit or trying to start fights with each other. It's a good community that I'm proud to be a part of, you know? All the other guys are proud of this stuff. So thank you to everyone who's wishing him a happy birthday. So this era is truly bad. They've been out of Ian Fleming ideas since the Brosnan era. So GoldenEye was not a Ian Fleming thing at all, and it was a great movie. So I don't know if being running out of Ian Fleming content is bad, but they actually haven't run out of it all. They haven't done Risico, and they technically done Half a Property of a Lady. We can get into that more, but look it. So long story short, Danny Boyle exited the James Bond role as director, so he wasn't going to direct. Then we had this little piece of news come out. Jonathan Pryce says Danny Boyle was too socialist for James Bond. Jonathan Pryce, who played villain Elliot Carver in 1997's Tomorrow Never Dies, said left-leaning filmmaker might not be the right person to tackle the project. Now, I brought this up because we always talk about the SJW politics and entertainment and how they're terrible and how they benefit no one. So I heard this piece of news come out, and I thought, oh, thank God. Thank God. Him being taken away was the right thing to do. The last thing you want is a Me Too James Bond. You don't want James Bond who's going to worry about microaggressions or microtransgressions. Hell, microtransactions, if you will, would be a bad idea for James Bond. But you don't want a James Bond that has to worry about those things. You want James Bond to be loud and violent and suave and funny and sophisticated and, you know, do what he's got to do. And so I hear about this stuff coming out from Jonathan Pryce, and I think to myself, good. Kill him. No, sorry. I was getting into episode 3 territory. But no, I thought to myself, it was nice that this was the case. And so for a couple days while I was away at Horror Hound and when I was on my way back, I was thinking to myself, you know what? Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson have it right. They have it right. They know what they're doing. And then I hear the real reason why Danny Boyle wasn't going to direct James Bond. And then I got pissed off because the dude quit for the right reasons. And now you're thinking to yourself, Jeff, the screen went dark. Don't leave me in anticipation. Well, don't worry. I wanted to make sure you get this. God damn it, Esquire. I don't want to see your ads. But let's learn why the real reason, according to rumor, why Danny Boyle left James Bond. And here it is. Danny Boyle quit Bond 25 because he refused to kill 007, according to reports. Let that sink in. So you got somebody like a Jonathan Pryce floating an idea. Maybe he was too left-leaning for Bond. Maybe he was this, maybe he was that. And then it comes out that he just didn't want to kill 007 because Daniel Craig wanted to kill 007. See, folks, Daniel Craig has more power in the role of James Bond than other actors that have played James Bond. Yes, Amy Minty, what the fuck is indeed correct. Now, this comes from Esquire, and I have a couple other sources out there. No, you don't kill 007. It's a bad idea. Daniel Craig wants to get out of the role, so he wants to kill you. He wants to kill James Bond. He wants his character to just be gone. And that's not good for anybody because when you kill Bond, you kill the franchise. You don't reboot from a death like that. Han Solo just doesn't work because he's been killed off as Harrison Ford and kidnapped. Alden Ehrenreich couldn't do it. It's just not going to work here. Cobra Viper, thank you very much. Let me stop you right there. SJW politics benefit the meme makers. Okay, well, the meme makers are always good for a laugh. But when it comes to James Bond, I'm going to say they hold more weight to me than a meme maker any day of the week. Now, James Bond meme maker should be called Meme Raker, and we should do a James Bond parody of that. That could be a lot of fun. All right, so We're talking about this Daniel Craig thing, though, because Ben Obi says, I have a friend working on the Bond crew, and he said Daniel Craig is disrupting everything and anything with BB. So I guess BB's Barbara Broccoli. Let me take you back. Now, I am not advocating for her to be out of the role of producer because she's a woman. I'm advocating it because she got the role due to nepotism. Her dad bought the rights with Harry Saltzman back in the, I believe it was either 61 or 59. My point is, Dr. No came out in 62, and the Bond proper, the franchise proper, has been in control of the Broccoli family the entire time. So when you get the next generation to take over, you have a drop in quality. Barbara Broccoli, it was rumored way back in the day that she hired Daniel Craig because she thought he was hot. Well, Daniel Craig is a fine actor, and I will go out and say that outside of his Bond roles, he puts out great performances almost every time, and he's a stronger actor than most people that have played James Bond. But when you get someone who doesn't want to play a role, but does it because of the money or some other sense of self-importance, they just drag their feet. They're acting like a baby. Daniel Craig is acting like a big British bitch baby right now. He doesn't want to play the role, so that's why the movie's been delayed constantly. Oh, I want to delay it because I'm having a baby. I can understand that one. You're older, you waited to have a kid, you want to be there. I get that one 100%. But there are other things that have come up. Oh, I don't approve of this. I don't approve of that. Daniel Craig has say with all the Bond girls who are cast. He has way more power than he should. Look, Daniel Craig is an actor paid to play a role. You don't get that kind of power. Let's be honest, Daniel. While you are a good actor, James Bond can live well past your tenure as the character. It has lasted for, it was 44 years old when he took over with Casino Royale. And yeah, his films were successful for the most part. Quantum of Solace wasn't. Spectre, less successful than Skyfall, but still a fine movie. But now he's just dragging his feet and acting like a baby. And now he wants the character to die. Two things about the Danny Boyle situation that are positives. First off, he doesn't want to be associated with killing off Bond, which is good. Secondly, they've shown their cards because they were probably going to go for this big twist surprise where James Bond dies. And you're going to turn a lot of people off to that. Now, I knew Han Solo was going to die in Star Wars, because Harrison Ford hates the character. We knew that was coming. I knew that was coming the moment they announced it in October of 2012 that episode 7 was coming out. So we knew that was happening. And a lot of people did skip episode 7 because of, they don't want to watch Han Solo die. Not enough to impact the box office, but still. Because not everyone's favorite Star Wars character is Han. Some people like Chewie, some people like Leia, Luke, all these other characters. They were all disappointed by their performances in the films, but still, not everyone's favorite character is Han Solo. If you're a fan of the James Bond franchise, you're a fan of James Bond because it's AKA the James Bond franchise. This isn't Star Wars. This isn't Lord of the Rings where there's 45 other characters. No, this is James Bond, Secret Agent 007, License to Kill. All about him. Nobody does it better. So now that the rumor's out that you're going to kill him, there are a ton of people that don't want to watch Bond die. I'm one of them. I've skipped Spider-Man films. I've skipped other films based on franchises that I love as much as James Bond. And James Bond 25 is no different. I'm not saying I'm boycotting the movie this early. I got to see what it's about and follow the news and the press stuff like that. But the fact that they've considered it and want it to be done really pisses me off and turns me off to support the franchise much past this. We'll put it like this. This movie comes out and they kill 007. Well, then I'm out. I won't buy any of the big box sets anymore. I'll do like a 4K release of GoldenEye, and that's about it. The other movies don't need a 4K release for me. They don't need my money. I won't do any more Bond games, Bond dolls, anything like that. But effectively, once they kill him off, I'm done because they're trying to push for Idris Elba as James Bond. Idris Elba doesn't want to play James Bond. They keep pushing for a black or a different color James Bond, and people just aren't accepting of it. So they want to kill him off to avoid any criticism from the media. Well, the fans, the people that actually pay your goddamn bills, will backlash if you change his skin color and if you, kill him off. It's not a good thing. So let's not do those things. Let's not fuck up James Bond because James Bond is the longest running franchise in film history consistently. There's been a Bond flick since 1962. We don't need it to go away. Sometimes having a nice long lineage is fine. Why not pay respect to that? Star Wars has shit the bed. James Bond hasn't. Why does it have to shit the bed now? Can't let that SJW outrage culture fuck it up for everybody. And, you got a guy like Henry Cavill out there who is really, pushing for the role. Fuck, get Daniel Craig out of there. Pay him his whatever money to get him to shut up. Get Danny Boyle back, or get a Nolan, or get somebody. Put Henry Cavill in there because Superman's dead. That DCEU failed miserably, depending on your opinion of the films. Either way, it's dead. And, get a fresh start. Get a younger, more excited Bond. Get somebody in there. Hell, if I looked the part and I could act, I would want to be James Bond. Don't look like James Bond, so I can't be. But you got to just get someone that wants to do it, because when you want to do, like, I want to do this channel, I want to do this show, I want to do this comic, I want to do all these things, so I put all my effort into it. Like Deadpool says, maximum effort all the time. When you don't want to do it and you drag your ass, well, you know what? You produce a poor product, and you don't want that. It's not good for anybody. So hopefully Daniel Craig leaves, and hopefully they don't kill him off. And if they do kill him off, I hope this movie suffers massively at the box office and is the first James Bond flop since License to Kill. So let's see. We got a bunch of super chats that rolled in. I do not want to miss a single one. So let's see who pops up. Mareth Dealine, thank you very much. Morning, Mr. Shitter. Just got 2 Thrawn books left to read. So sounds like you've been a busy man, Mareth Dealine. So let me know how those go, and when we do our EU panel discussion in a few weeks, we'll have you on, and you can tell us what you think. Guillermo El Nino says, I started my new job the day my daughter was brought home. Man up, get shit done. Guillermo, I'm with you on that sentiment. You got to do shit. You just got to make it happen. I guess Daniel Craig is too pampered to do that. Let's see. Alec Munoz says, thanks for every morning, Jeff. Appreciate it. Why do all these SJW producers come into power through nepotism? KK through Title IX, Broccoli with Dad. Because they know, well, first off, like a Barbara Broccoli, I don't really know much of what she's done, because I don't think she's really done too much outside of James Bond. I mean, it's her family, her family label, as Belloc would say. I guess because these people don't really have much creativity inside of them. A lot of people in the Hollywood industry aren't really the storytellers. They are the business people, or they're beautiful people that they can, try to get to act. I don't, like Kathleen Kennedy, I don't know. I mean, she was always an executive producer. I do know what an executive producer does. It deals with the money. I know that. You can look it up. She's executive producer. She dealt with money on Back to the Future and shit like that. Movies that her name is attached to, where she's not in charge of telling people what to write, have turned out, good to great. I consider Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Back to the Future, Indiana Jones films great movies, classics. You had Spielberg and Zemeckis attached, and George Lucas and stuff like that. You had great filmmakers attached. When you get to the Barbara Broccoli situation, look at the films that worked under her control. Well, because here's the thing. She's only co-producer with her stepbrother, Michael G. Wilson. Now, Michael G. Wilson had a lot more experience in the James Bond franchise. He started earlier than Barbara did because he's older. But together, under their power, they had, I guess technically the last film would be Goldeneye with Cubby Broccoli. Pierce Brosnan was the last Bond that he got to approve of. And then you get to Tomorrow Never Dies, and it's good. I like it. And you get to The World Is Not Enough, and it's good, and I like it. But then you get to Die Another Day. And to me, Die Another Day is when you get too far past believability with anything they do. I mean, invisible cars, laser beams from outer space, just stupid shit. It's funny. They were trying to pay homage to the James Bond franchise at 40, but all they did is make an embarrassing film. And I mean, I've spent countless hours talking about Bond, acquiring merchandise. Hell, Jeremy Pearman brought me James Bond trading cards to Horror Hound. And thank you so much, because I just love James Bond stuff. But my point is, even I took a step back from that one and went, wow. And now that they got Daniel Craig, like I said before, I think they're always chasing an Oscar. They want the James Bond Oscar. They want Daniel Craig to win the James Bond Oscar, but it's just not going to happen. And when I mean Daniel Craig shouldn't have power over his character, no. He shouldn't be able to push for him to die. You know why? Because these characters are institutions. These characters have a legacy that are bigger than the actor. See, when somebody earlier said about, Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill not having any say over his character, Mark Hamill is the only person to play Luke. Daniel Craig Basically, James Bond is a well-made dinner jacket that will get tailored for each actor, but when you're done, you take off the jacket and you pass it to somebody else. You give your Walther to the next guy. Daniel Craig doesn't own Bond. He's not the best Bond. He's not the most watched Bond. Now you'll say, well, Skyfall made $1 billion. Yeah, but Thunderball sold way more tickets. So let's just put that to bed. That whole theory about just because it made the most money means it was seen the most, not true. Look at Star Wars. Episode 7 made a fuckload of money in 2015. Adjusted for inflation alone, the original Star Wars sold more tickets and made way more money domestically. So even if we did whole worldwide box office, we're talking that. But Daniel Craig's not even the most seen James Bond. And just, these people that get in power because of nepotism, it's because they lack creativity. You have some people who work their asses off and make it to the top. You have somebody like, I know a lot of people don't like him today, but like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey worked his ass off to make it to where he is. And if you go read his story, he used to sit up in the Hollywood Hills and he'd write himself a check for $20 million for acting services. And he worked and he worked and he worked and he was in a bunch of shitty films in the 80s that really didn't go anywhere. Then he popped up on In Living Color and he got his big break years later with Ace Ventura, and that took off, and The Mask and Dumb and Dumber all came out in 1 year. And then Jim Carrey was a $20 million an actor picture because you worked at it. And that's the same message I talk about here on the channel to anybody. No matter what you want to do, if you find out what you love and you work at it, you'll get good, and then you'll become better than the other guys, and then you stand out and people want to have you. And that's where you can make the big bucks or get noticed and attention and all that stuff. So nepotism is only good for people who lack creativity. King Eric the 15th says, Drew, something funny. I posted on the fan page. Well, King Eric, I will check that out when we get off this morning's show. Definitely. Let's see. Midnight Cherry TV. Morning, Jeff. Morning, all. Stealing Brosnan, next comic. I was also upset I missed Horror Hound this weekend. That was a lit. Oh, sorry. Let me do it again. I was so upset. I missed Horror Hound this weekend that I lit a Jar Jar puzzle on fire on my channel. Well, I'm glad you lit a Jar Jar puzzle on fire on your channel in our honor. Anything you did in our honor is, it makes me proud. But we'll be back to Horror Hound. We had Drew from Comics Elite tell us, anytime you want to come back, I got a place for you guys to stay. So we're going to go to Horror Hound next year in Indy, and I'm going to do my damnedest to get us a booth here in Cincinnati for Horror Hound. The bullshitters are all going to be together in October for the telethon countdown for Stealing Solo. So there's all kinds of stuff that the bullshitters are going to be doing together as a group. We've reached that point. We're getting closer to 100,000. And once the stuff keeps growing and we can have a more stable stream of revenue for the channel, we're going to take that and come to your towns and do stuff and hang out with you. So Midnight Cherry TV, don't get too upset that you missed us. You'll meet us one day. And people that are in other parts of the world, we'll come to your neck of the woods too. So don't worry. And Dr. Coffin Nails, it was really nice to meet you too, man. Next time, when you come up at night, and we'll go to the bar and shoot the shit some more. And Kendo grabbed your CD, so I'll be asking him what he thought of it. So let's see. We're all caught up on the super chat so far. I don't know anybody that's in the running for James Bond because as of now, Daniel Craig is in the role, confirmed. So there's nobody in the running yet. Morning, Chris Cockrum, or Corkum, excuse me. I keep wanting to say Cockrum because there was a very famous comic book artist named Dave Cockrum. So when I see that, my name instantly goes to that. The Bond movies need some good villains and henchmen. What was the last Bond that had a memorable villain or henchman/henchwoman? I would say the last one, John. Spectre. I thought Dave Bautista as Mr. Hinks was incredible. You had a big, buff, burly guy who would crush their head and their eyeballs. Then he got into that really awesome fight with James Bond on the train. And the only word he said in the movie was shit because Bond threw him in there and goes, shit, and then boom, gets sucked out of the train. I thought that was cool. I thought that was memorable. Oh, you heard a rumor that Judge Reinhold was the 5th member of World Class Bullshitters. Well, we love Judge, but Judge would have to be the 7th member of World Class Bullshitters because Channel Dad Brian Lape is the 5th member of World Class Bullshitters, our 5th Beatle. And then American Trent 007 is the 6th. He's our backup bullshitter. So Judge Reinhold, you're going to have to wait, man. You have to prove yourself. By the way, folks, if you guys want to be, in the ranking of the bullshitters, what you guys can do is if you're ever trying to try out for podcasts or get your feet wet in this game, make sure you subscribe to the Fancast channel and be in contact with Channel Dad Brian Late because they have a podcast most weeks. and they're always looking for people that are fans of this channel to talk about entertainment over there. And that's how Kendo became a member of this channel, and that's how Brian Lape and other guys have been on and off. So if you ever want to get involved with us on that in that way, make sure that you join the fan cast, help them get their numbers up, because they're like the farm team for World Class Bullshitters. I'm not guaranteeing we're going to have all these people join the channel, but like a Geeks and Gamers, Geeks and Gamers is Jeremy, Anna, Jesse, Ivan, and everyone else out there. No, we're going to be the same guys, but we always need backup people. We always need fill-ins. We always need help with commentaries and stuff. So, get involved with those guys. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Have you seen Oscar Isaac telling fans to make their own movies? I have not. I've been away from this computer for a couple of days. This thing hasn't been turned on except on Sunday night when I did the Comic Skate stream with Ethan and Doug TeNapel and Mitch Brightweiser and a couple other people. Mr. Midicur's YouTube is back up. I didn't realize it was ever down. What about me as a Mystery Men expert on World Class Bullshitters? Oh, you are the Mystery Men expert of World Class Bullshitters Midnight Cherry TV. There we go. Batista. A lot of people are shitting on Batista in the chat. Well, Batista has said some dumb stuff lately. I haven't really followed anything since Friday, so I'm catching up to a degree. But this James Bond stuff is going to get its own video. But I wanted to talk about it because you guys know how passionate I am about James Bond, and now the modern day Hollywood controversy has come into contact with James Bond, and hopefully James Bond does like he always does with a villain and just wipe him out. Let's see. Rihanna, do you think that the higher-ups at Disney called Kathleen Kennedy and told her if she didn't fix Star Wars that she'd be fired, and the fans won't be satisfied till she's fired? Kevin, I believe that there is a group of people at Disney that know what's going on with all of us. And I think when Solo failed, they began to care. I'm sure they were like, with The Last Jedi, they're like, oh, the movie made so much money, and, no one cares, guys. Law of diminishing returns. Well, then the merchandise dropped. And it sat there and sat there and sat there. And now Solo flopped. And the fandom menace is a real thing that gets more views on average than some Star Wars content. Because we don't antagonize our fans. We don't sit and go make fanboy tier mugs and X out Luke Skywalker's face and call people a bunch of things. We embrace who watch the show. We thank them. And we build a community. Star Wars is now afraid that they've gone too far in the other direction. So I'm sure that Kathleen Kennedy knows that people want her head on a silver platter, proverbially speaking. But they're not going to do anything about it just yet. We'll find out in September. I know Ethan's been calling for that September date. That's when Kathleen Kennedy's gone. Very well could be the case. I'm waiting to hear officially when she's gone. But if we're going to play, connect the dots, la, 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 Pee Wee Herman style, let's play connect the dots for a moment. You have Dave Filoni not being attached to the garbage Star Wars Resistance trailer. He's only attached to name only. The show's getting buried on a late night time schedule. What if that's the case? That this is the last thing Kathleen Kennedy approved of, and now it's it's going away. It's going bye-bye. Maybe her tenure's over. Hopefully it is. She hasn't produced a single quality product that I would hold in high regard. Sometimes stuff is just good enough. Maybe that's how I feel about Rogue One. It's just good enough. None of the games have been good. None of it. Ragnarok Oofbert says, Globalist went all Alex Jones on Mr. Medicure. I heard that he's back now, so good for him. I used to watch him, I guess when he was the Internet Aristocrat years ago. I knew about his channel, and then I think it disappeared, so I forgot. And I'm glad he's back. I don't want anybody to suffer any kind of problems like that. So how come we started 30 minutes early? Because I wanted to talk about the Horror Hound convention. I wanted to also get to all of this stuff, but I wanted to talk about Horror Hound and thank everyone that showed up, because we had super fan Adam Shawhan. That dude was so excited to meet us, and he was so awesome in person. Here's the thing, though. I got to give credit to everybody that showed up. I mean, everyone was great. Everyone was kind, very polite. I wish there was more time to hang out with everybody one-on-one, and I felt bad too because we had a guy named Brian show up who listens to Good Morning Pop Culture. He said, "Hey, I'm going to be there to meet you," and he came and he was nice. And then like 10 people showed up to the table, and he kind of got pushed out, so I felt bad. But it was just nice to know that so many people were there, and that's why we started early, because I wanted to give everyone a thank you, because I really do appreciate everybody coming out. I mean, it's not, some people drove 8 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Some people were local, some people weren't. Some people bought tickets to the convention just to come meet us. So, that meant something to me, and I just wanted to take my time to thank them. So, Tim Christ, that's why we started early. Bonobi, yeah, bond is important. See, the thing is, guys, that old phrase, they came for this and I said nothing, and then they came for that and I said nothing, and then they came for me and nobody said anything. I apply that to Bond and to Star Wars and all this stuff. It's about preserving a legacy of a franchise. It's not living in the past. It's preserving a legacy and keeping it. I don't want to say keeping it holy, because some people get turned off with religious talk, and that's not my intention. But you want to keep it pure, if you will, and not necessarily you won't change things to make it more modern or try different things, but to basically subvert your expectations by burning it down doesn't work. We saw that with The Last Jedi. James Bond doesn't need a Last Jedi, and I don't think can survive a Last Jedi. This isn't 1979. Moonraker won't fly in 2019. So that's why I talk about this and Star Wars and all these other things. There are so many franchises that need to be saved from themselves, from the people in power. Everyone all of a sudden got woke in Hollywood, and we're, the fandom menace, or people that just your average everyday people out there are like, what the hell's going on? The Chinese don't buy into it. Americans don't buy into it. Europeans don't buy into it. People from every other part of the world aren't buying into it. Hell, the Penguins aren't buying into it. My point is, we're fighting the good fight to just save all of entertainment from itself. That's the funny thing. You got to save it from itself. Michael, my favorite Bond actor, is a tie between Brosnan and Connery. Do you guys really think that? But let me read the super chat first, and then I'm going to ask you guys a question about Batista. I need everyone to get involved in this one. Solar Galax says, have you considered putting your influences on other platforms as a backup? BitChute, Cmit, Gab.ai, mine, so they eliminate your influences one go. I can look into backing up the channel. I know we hear about that a lot. I need to look into it a little more. I mean, hell, we're still trying to get our what's the damn server that everybody wants us to get? The one, the something server. We have one. Nick's just got to get it finalized and tell us about using it. But we have one of those things that everyone wants us to have. God, what's the name of it? Somebody in the comments tell me. You guys will know. But Solar Galax, I'll make sure that we cover our asses like that. Thankfully, we have a big enough platform that you people will care. But that's not going to happen. Don't worry. We're going to back it up, and we're going to be safe. Discord. Yeah, Discord. There we go. We have Discord. We're just trying to get it finalized. And by the way, I spoke to our friend Tim, who came up to meet us this weekend. The guy with the dildo and the really nice bottle of tequila. I know that's a really weird way to describe somebody, but he told us something that we can do, and we're going to do it. So everyone wants a call-in for this show. Jeff, we want a call-in segment. We want a call-in segment. Well, short of me buying a burner phone, giving out the number, and holding the phone up to the speaker, Timothy had a better idea. So what we're going to do is eventually we'll have the Discord server with a green room section where you guys can listen to the show in the Discord server, and then we can call people up into the show and have a little guest segment. So that'll be coming in the near future. World Class Bullshitters will be the first of the Fandom Menace to have the Discord call-in segment, and it's going to be all about you guys for a segment each morning on Good Morning Pop Culture. So do not miss out on that one. Let's see. People are talking about... Brian Nearen's here. I'm glad you're here, man. You too, Adam Shawhan. Thanks to everybody. But it was nice to meet all you guys. Put faces to a screen name. Okay, so it looks like we're all caught up. Yeah, Discord server. Get Daniel Craig out of there. I agree. It is muff-tastic. Kendo, make sure you tell Nick to help us get that lined up as soon as possible, because maybe we should do that like by next week. What up, Billy Rishi? And there's Jaron Ricewig too. So everyone's here. The whole gang is here. We're actually having great numbers. I think you guys may have missed Good Morning Pop Culture since we only did a half a show on Friday, and now that it's Tuesday, I think you've missed us. You've missed me doing videos like this. But a lot of people did watch our Live at Horror Hound stream where we had a good afternoon pop culture with Dion and I, and Kendo and Nick were there too, obviously. But they were either behind the camera doing other stuff, talking to the fans. And it's funny. On Saturday, we had a little slow period, and no one really came by the table because people thought we were trying to sell them shit. But as soon as we went live, everyone wanted to know what we were doing. And it's funny. Like, they wanted to get on camera and all this other crap. So, World Class Bullshit is going strong. Yeah, Judge Reinhold did come over at Horror Hound. So that was pretty funny. Thank you, Scott. We missed you too, man. Let's see. Hollywood is that desperate they could turn to the fans and ask if they want to play James Bond. Either you or me could do it. I definitely could pull it off if I had the right look and a British accent and a bunch of other shit. I'd love to do it though. But like I said, I would turn it down. I don't look the part. I'd be a hypocrite to say I did that. Barbarella's not here this morning. Okay. Good morning, Muff Culture. So, folks, now I need your help. So what's the situation with Batista? People are saying he's become a problem. He's not going to be welcomed in Hollywood. He's not going to be welcomed in the WWE. I disagree with the WWE point. Adam Shawhan says, we are world-class bullshitters. I am WCBS for life. Top shelf WCBS. You are definitely super fan, Adam Shawhan. I like the ring of it, Super fan, Adam Shawhan. If you were a wrestler, that'd be your name. I could be a Bond villain or a henchman. I think that'd be pretty cool. Batista is a C-list actor at best. He's not that important. Well, thank you, Etep Wokuian. I appreciate it nonetheless. So Batista has lost his shit. Well, the thing is, Batista lost his shit about the James Gunn thing, and maybe he's going to start looking bad in Hollywood. He can always go back to wrestling because the Ultimate Warrior, who's died now, but he held up Vince McMahon for money, like $300,000, and quit the company multiple times. They even made a video about how bad he is, but he came back. Batista didn't really burn any bridges with the WWE, so he'll probably come back. He will be back to being a wrestler, but he won't be I don't think he'll ever do a big movie from Disney unless he decides to play ball with Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and the movie doesn't suffer at the box office. Now, I know that Avengers Infinity War Part 2 or whatever it's going to be called, I'm just going to refer to it as Infinity War Part 2. I know that's not the official title. We've actually had a lot of people go out of their way in the past to say, that's not the title yet. No shit. Nobody knows the title. What do you refer to it as? Avengers 4? Okay. I'm going to call it Avengers 4 Infinity War Part 2. The Second Coming, The Reckoning, The Quickening, Strikes Back. There we go. There's the title. And I can't even remember what I just said. Yeah, Batista picked the wrong hill to die on. Oh, he got into politics. I didn't realize Batista said something about Vince and his politics. Batista, though, it's funny. He can say all this shit about Vince and the president, but Batista worked the show where the current president was at, and Batista took that big paycheck, and Batista ran with it, and was involved with a company that, or that president is in the Hall of Fame. So it's kind of hypocritical to say about, Todd Rector just joined. Well, you missed a lot this morning, man. Actually, all you missed was we were talking about the James Bond situation, and we talked about how I got to meet everyone this weekend at the convention. So Todd Rector, Logan Michael, there were so many NECA Michael Myers and McFarlane Michael Myers figures next to me. You probably would have died from excitement. They were everywhere. Let's see. Who else? Avengers 4, the SJW saved the day. Will they really save the day? They'll destroy the franchise in the process. Oh my God, I just thought of it. Somebody make me this meme and I will mention you on the show. So get me that Thanos meme, and I want it to say something along the lines of Marvel went woke. What did it cost us? Everything. And it's just Thanos crying with like a graph with a downward point. I think that'd be kind of funny. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I'm all about, having a good laugh. So one thing I wanted to bring up with the Dave Batista situation, which is really, really important, is that the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was put on hold in production. And this is something I wanted to talk about big time when I was gone. But when we're out of town, we can't really stop to do that stuff. Maybe if something crazy like Kathleen Kennedy was removed, then we would cover that. But let's look at this Den of Geek article and learn about this together. You know, we're a community. We do things together. You know, we go on riverboat gambling trips. We make our own beef jerky. That's what we do. And if you can tell me what movie that's from, you are the listener of today's show, and I will give you a special shout out, and I'll be impressed with your pop culture knowledge. So Alec Munoz, Avengers 4, Before We Go Woke. Damn right. Magic Bullocks, you don't have to apologize for anything. I appreciate all the super chats. You help the channel grow. But if, I don't know everybody's thing, and you don't have to apologize. I just appreciate that you spend your time listening to us. Of course, I appreciate the super chats. Like I said, it helps us get to conventions and be a channel. But don't worry. You don't ever have to apologize. Just thanks for being here. I was horror hound bound, but I didn't because I was busy breaking into your fridge so I could lick your butter, says Amy. Well, you should have just asked. I would have brought butter to horror hound. I'm a Land O'Lakes salted guy, so don't worry. Let's see. A year ago, Batista wanted to come back, and Triple H just laughed at him. Well, a year ago, he hadn't. A year ago, he'd done Bond. Batista could come back. Let me tell you something. Never say never in the WWE. Never say never. Okay, so let's see. Oh, shit. American Trent, I think, got it first. Yeah, American Trent got it. Damn it, Trent. Trent won. Trent got it first. But so did a couple other people. So thank you, everyone. Make sure you guys pay attention for those little nuggets of pop culture references, because it's what we do. It's good morning pop culture. Maybe one of these days we'll have The Late Shift with Jeff Hicks, where I do a slowed down version of this, where we just relax and I help you fall asleep at night. And then we get into crazy shit, like Brandon Moist comes in and ruins the show. By the way, Brandon Moist was mentioned by name at the show. So Brandon Moist, if you listen to this live stream back, other listeners of the show really like you, man. And I appreciate the hilarity that ensued with your name. Magic Bullock says, I will buy Dion's next suit. Just need to decide what it needs to be. Cowboy riding a horse is my suggestion. We could do that. We'll take a poll on Twitter the closer we get to my birthday party, because we'll have Turkey Dion will ride out this year, and then we'll get a new suit for next convention cycle. For Star Wars Celebration, we'll have Turkey Dion in the next one. How's that sound, guys? How's that sound? Okay, so let's talk about this. Guardians of the Galaxy has been put on hold because this is news to me. I'm sure most of you guys have heard this, but like I said, I was away on location meeting everybody. So the fallout from James Gunn's firing continues after a tumultuous month that culminated, can't speak, in Disney's chief Alan Horn doubling down on the decision to fire James Gunn after a series of offensive tweets from years ago were brought to light. It would appear that the studio is shutting down Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for the time being. The Marvel movie, which has never had officially been given a release date, was expected to go into production in early 2019 for a spring-summer 2020 release. Pre-production was about to get underway in Atlanta, with what The Hollywood Reporter described as a small group prepping the earliest stages of the movie. Instead, they've been told to go home and they can look for work elsewhere, since it doesn't appear that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be getting moving anytime soon. Oof. This certainly doesn't mean that the movie has been canceled, merely that a timeline has been pushed out, according to The Hollywood Reporter sources. But it could appear that any hope of seeing Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy completed by 2020 is fading fast. Disney will need to find a director confident enough to step into Gunn's shoes without imitating his style. Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi's name has been coming up as a possible replacement and fan conversation after his colorful, irreverent take on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's easy to see why, but at that moment, it isn't clear if it's a serious option. Gunn hasn't done any considerable work for the script. Gunn had done considerable work on the script for the film. There hasn't been any word of his firing, if it means what it means for the studio. So more on the story as they look into it. So here we go. This is, like I said, it was news to me. I get it. I get it 100%. Now, I know a lot of people like to take our words and bastardize them and act like we defended James Gunn. Not once have we ever defended James Gunn. Get that out of the way. I find it very interesting, though, what the power of what social media has had on this film. Not saying James Gunn is innocent at all. Not even trying to say that. But it's surprising that and then the social media pressure, and then this has pushed this movie on hold. Now, yes, Billy, Edgar Wright, 100%. That's what I want to see. Edgar Wright has the chops. He has the pedigree. He could have done Ant-Man. It didn't work out. Peyton Reed did a great job. Less so on part 2, but still, Edgar Wright would be my choice. I think he's got that rock and roll vibe. I don't really know much about James Gunn outside of Guardians and Slither. He was never an actor or director that I was follow. I don't really follow a lot of up and coming directors, or I haven't at least, because a movie comes out and I see it and then I become a fan, and then I kind of forget about the director, and then their next movie comes out. But with this movie being put on hold, it's interesting to see, not because of the James Gunn situation overall, but to see how the cracks are beginning to form with the MCU. Because the MCU has been such a well-oiled machine for over a decade. They put out these timelines, they hit these release dates. I think only the Inhumans has been the thing that kind of fell off the radar. And that was, a bad idea to begin with. They moved it to TV, it failed, and it died very quickly, and people don't remember it. But Guardians of the Galaxy is arguably their most successful franchise in the MCU. I mean, maybe it isn't making the same money as Cap and Iron Man and stuff like that, because Iron Man 3 made, what, $1 billion? Over $1 billion on its own. Winter Soldier made over $1 billion. Not Winter Soldier. Civil War made over $1 billion, I believe. Those movies are huge hits. Avengers, obviously, those are the big ones. But the Guardians films seem to have permeated pop culture in a way that the other ones haven't, because Captain America and Iron Man were all there. But Guardians was this generation's Star Wars. They went from Han and Chewie to Rocket and Groot. Star-Lord is, and Gamora, Luke and Leia, stuff like that. So you had that take place. And, now that this is, being put on hold, it just goes to show you that maybe everything behind the scenes at Marvel isn't as strong as we thought. Maybe they are considering taking a break. Maybe they can see what's going on with the MCU proper. They know that people are getting tired. Maybe they know more than we know. Maybe they have a bigger plan. Maybe we're going to have the hood pulled down and like, it was me, Austin, all along, and boom, there we go. That was all part of the plan. But Cesario Japan says, SJWs don't care about the little folks. They're more content on being woke than broke. And look what happened with Guardians of the Galaxy. Tradespeople unable to work. That's a good point you bring up, Cesario Japan, because I think a lot of us assume that people that work on movies live these glamorous lives. They do this shit. Everybody that works on these movies is a rock star. Not necessarily. Ask Nick. Nick has worked on movies. Nick's been involved with movies. Nick's just your average everyday guy. Nick lives in Atlanta, where a lot of films like Guardians of the Galaxy get made. And you meet these people and they get up and they work union jobs and they do the same shit that a lot of you out there do. They're just involved with these movies. Yeah, Chris Pratt and Batista and all these other actors make tons and tons of cash. And that's that. And these producers and the executives at the top make millions each year, like Michael Bay. But the people that are getting hurt by what's going on right now are the tradespeople, are the little guys, if you will, who have families to feed and don't have the the cushion, the safety net, the nest egg, if you will, to back up all the stupidity that's going on. So that's who gets hurt at the end of it. It's always shit rolls downhill. That's always how this goes. You cannot forget those things. It's more than Chris Pratt waiting around for the next Jurassic World or being bored on the beach or some dumb shit like that. It's, Jane and Dick who aren't working. So, Cesare Japan, that's an excellent point you make. People need to take those things into account. Jason Bourne says, I can confirm the regular Joe's working on the film sets. Yes, you can, because you've been here since we started doing live streaming back in April under your other name, and you've talked to us all about how this stuff goes on behind the scenes. Nothing like secretive, just like it takes this long to film, stuff like that. So I know that you definitely know these things, and that's who gets hurt, guys. So let's just keep that into account. Like, look at all those names. When you go to see a Marvel movie, you see the principal cast and then the director, and then you see about 20,000 other names that you don't know or care about. Those are the people that get hurt from stupid shit like this. To them, that's their livelihood, that's their job. To a lot of us, including me, I'm not acting like I don't. They're the names that roll by as you wait for the post-credit sequence. Just take into account next Marvel movie, you see that all those people, they work, gig to gig to gig. They don't have $1 million in the bank, millions of dollars in the bank to spout their mouth off and say stupid shit. You think if the production is design assistant or whatever of the next Bond movie said something about Barbara Broccoli, that they'd get this, there'd be this press blitz and then they'd get their job? No, they'd be fucking fired and you'd never hear from them again. So there's a lot more than meets the eye. Jimmy Kimmel is starting shit by getting stars to talk about their politics on his show, and if Jimmy doesn't agree with their politics, he attacks them. Fuck Jimmy. His show is nothing but advertising for the Disney Corporation. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Jimmy Kimmel is not anybody's friend. And if he wants to sit and talk about politics, like, okay, we're doing well, we make it. Jimmy Kimmel wants to interview me. He starts talking politics or saying stupid shit like, Jimmy, you wore blackface and dressed up as Oprah on TV. Until you, take a look back in your past, don't start shit with anybody else. Jimmy Kimmel needs to just shut up. I hate when these actors, he's not even really an actor. He was a comedian who wasn't that funny. Like, The Man Show was great for what it was, but he would never do that shit again. Why? Probably because it's fucking funny. Like, The Man Show was great back in the day. I loved it as a teenager. Instead of worrying about the lens of 2018 and what's offensive, maybe you just focus on something funny. And The Man Show had some funniness, but Jimmy Kimmel just he lost that years ago. He traded in his humor for a suit and a tie and a show that is just so fucking fake. Where do I want the Thanos meme sent? Just to our Facebook page. That's the best place. I like Jimmy Kimmel on Win Ben Stein's Money. So did I. I actually forgot that Win Ben Stein's Money was a thing until this moment, but I used to watch it quite a bit. Yeah, he was funny on that. He was funny on The Man Show. Comedy Central, Jimmy Kimmel was legit. Nowadays, Jimmy Kimmel, I'll pass. Girls on Trampolines. Yeah, I watched that show all the time. I know a lot of you watched it all the time. Man, I'm not saying I need the TNA factor on every show, but I want something fucking funny. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is getting flack for not having enough people of color on the writing staff. Look, it's created by the people that wrote the show. Let them write the show and let it be good. When they try to do this diversity shit, like What Are the Rules episode, I found it preachy and stupid. I hated the What Are the Rules episode. A lot of people liked it, not me. So thank you, Tim. Thank you to everyone who's made the meme. I'm definitely going to be looking at that in a minute. Let's see. Somebody else said, what's The Man Show? Man Show was a show on Comedy Central. Was it on in the late 90s or it was on in the early 2000s for sure? And it featured Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel, and it was a talk show really geared towards men. They had busty women, they made really crude jokes, and it was funny. And I watched it. It was very much like an extension of Married with Children. It's something that Al and all the guys would have watched from No Ma'am. It would have been like the No Ma'am show would have probably been what they called it. But no, it's I think it's on DVD. They don't rebroadcast reruns. I don't know if there's any of the uncensored episodes out there, but it's a relic of the past of a better time. The Man Show, Mansters. Yeah, those shows are gone. And it aired in the early 2000s. Okay, I know it was on in the early 2000s. I didn't know if it started in 99 and rolled over. But all I can tell you guys is that if you get a chance to watch it, I don't know how you'd watch it. At least listen to the theme song on YouTube. It's fucking hilarious. Should Taika Waititi, director of Thor Ragnarok, direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3? I like Thor Ragnarok enough, but I don't want to watch it again. And I don't know if... I think people are just hell-bent because they think Guardians and Thor are the same. Like I said, I stand by Edgar Wright. That's my choice. You got to remember, these people are the establishment. They like us when we keep silent and vote the way they want. When we don't, they sneer at us. Yeah, even if you take the voting aspect out, they like us when we buy their shit. The fans were great for Star Wars Episode 7, but when it started making less money and we got vocal, they hated us. Ryan Johnson for Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Well, if you want the Marvel franchise to die, of course. Of course. Zero fucks given about Guardians 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But what about Guardians of the Galaxy 10, Trevor? That's the important thing. Well, let me look up this Thanos meme real quick, because you guys are kicking ass here on Good Morning Pop Culture. We're having a fantastic show. and let me see everything that's going on. So, yeah, getting these damn emails right now. Here we go. So here's the first one. I'm sure we got more than one, and I will definitely. By the way, folks, help us spread the word about World Class Bullshitters on Facebook. What are we at? We are 55 members away from 2,000. So let's get that thing rolling. Let's get to 2,000 there. Let's get the numbers up. You know, everyone loves to see big numbers. So let's get the big Facebook numbers up so we can reach more people. See, the Facebook won't let us advertise. And yes, I called it the Facebook because I'm old, but Facebook won't let us advertise because of the name of our channel. So instead of me getting upset, we just go other routes. But there you go. There's the Thanos meme. SJWs have stepped in to save the MCU. What did it cost? Everything. And it saddens me. Let's see. Did we get any other ones? I love when my internet goes slow when we're live on the air and it makes people wait. No. I will wait because now I'm getting messages because people see them on Facebook, so they'll have to wait till I'm off air. Let's get back to this show. Sad when you enjoy epic rap battles of history, Darth Vader versus Hitler more than I enjoy Disney Star Wars. Well, epic rap battles of history, while not for me, I see the humor in it, and I get why people like it. Fan-made content in many ways is the future, and that's why sometimes channels get shut down because you're providing better entertainment, more honest entertainment than the big companies, because big companies have corporate interests, and don't trust corporate interest companies because they don't care if they alienate you. They just care if their sponsors pay more money. Let's see. I'm 7 years older than you, and I just call it Facebook. Well, sometimes the Facebook pops out. Excuse me. Altered Carbon. Haven't seen it yet. So what's all this T? What are we pressing T for? Press T if you want Ewan McGregor to play Obi-Wan as a solo film, and his first line is "Hello there." Okay, you know what? I'll even get on this. I'll press T for you guys. Boom. I like the idea. 100%. So we're talking about fans and fan reaction and all that stuff. Let's talk about Oscar Isaac, because Oscar Isaac has been talking about the Star Wars fans. Now, I know he made some political comments, and I need to look into a little more before we go talking about it. But let's talk about Oscar Isaac and his response to Star Wars. So, Oscar Isaac opened his mouth. Did he put his foot in it? Let's find out together. And that's not the article. So Oscar Isaac said this: what I think is really special about the whole thing, particularly for people that really didn't agree with where the story went, is that it's often a great inspiration to do your own stuff. Obviously, making your own Star Wars movie is a bit of a tough challenge, but at least from a narrative standpoint, maybe you can make your own thing and then show what you would want. Make what you would want to see. Okay, Oscar Isaac, maybe you said something sane. Now, it's interesting that Oscar Isaac said this, and I read this article today because our friend Jeff the Iron Wolf has been working on his own version of Star Wars, and he was sharing it with Dion at the convention, and Dion seemed very excited. Folks, when something bad happens to your favorite form of entertainment, yeah, you should be angry, and yeah, you should let it be known, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt to go out and write your own thing, be it fan fiction, an addendum to the story, rewrite it yourself. We might do coming up, if we get enough interest, if we can get the numbers super high, let's do you guys can pitch your own Star Wars episode 8 and 9. You have to follow 7 because, if you go into that territory, then it gets the whole, I would do this and do that, and there's a million possibilities. But if you guys follow the same trajectory from what came before it, that's what we can do. The DJD show is 50% on Oscar Isaac. I don't know what he said the other day about that old German dude, but what I do know is that he just hasn't been bringing his A game to Star Wars. Nobody has. Let's see. My story is more fanfic than a faithful alternative. Legends and EU only. Okay, well, see, there we go. Maybe we won't. We won't do the video then. We'll just do. You guys can tell me in the comments section or something. So he's defending your father running off to make The man you are today. I think he's using the safest thing, but I think this is a sign. Listen to how Oscar Isaac said it. Go off and do your own thing. If you would have said this to him during the media hype of The Last Jedi, or if you had asked Yeah Boyega, they would have told you to go fuck yourself, because Yeah Boyega essentially did that to Jeremy on Twitter. Guys, this is a sign that the fandom menace is actively winning, because now it goes from anger on their end to talking down to us to it gets a little more extreme, and now they've softened their stance because now they're in the blitz for the next film. See, they made their money with episode 8. Now they need to make their money with 9 and the Disney parks and the comic books and all this stuff. So they have to relax. They have to take a step back. They can't alienate you because they want your money. So it's interesting that this is where they are, because they know that their cocky egos only hurt them at the box office. So instead of saying he's running off and doing whatever, he's picking his words very carefully, because he knows the precarious situation that Star Wars is in. He knows what the movie is. He can't talk about it, obviously, due to contractual obligations, but we know where they're going with this Star Wars movie, and they know that if this fails, the franchise is dead. All the stuff's been put on hold for a reason. Has Daisy Ridley spoken out against the fandom menace? Well, Daisy Ridley actually came out to say that it wasn't fans that bullied her off social media. She didn't take the Kelly Marie Tran approach. She said, no, I needed my own private life. But the media speculated that was the fans that did it. It wasn't the case. And I think Daisy Ridley's been pretty quiet other than that. They do have to keep their damn mouth shut after the failure of Solo. They know that Star Wars isn't infallible. You can fail at Star Wars. They have failed at Star Wars. I mean, they have failed us. We haven't failed them. We haven't changed. All we expect is a good product. Marvel hasn't failed us yet. They're about to, if they go down the path of the woke warrior. Well, warriors aren't woke. Warriors are noble. People that are woke are pussies, so whatever. They know that when they fail, this franchise will die. You're damn right this franchise will fucking... this franchise is already really hurting. I mean, even if we let's just look at Toys R Us. Them being gone is a huge knock to a Star Wars monument to toys. And even if we don't talk about the toy legacy, when you would walk into a Toys R Us, you'd see a giant Star Wars display. That would shrink, depending on the popularity, but still, it was still a monument to Star Wars. You don't have it anymore. Yeah, you have your little section at Target, but even Target doesn't give Star Wars a whole shelf space, a whole shelf side anymore. It gets a portion. I mean, other things are more popular than Star Wars, and the real world knows that. But they decide to attack the people that will keep it alive. Sorian Sky, thank you very much. Do a mouthpiece. If I could speak, do a mouthpiece of the month /Monday series. What do you mean, Sorian Sky? Like, where I do... Could you explain it a little more and just at me at the message so you can elaborate a little bit? Because Mondays are the day where I could make more videos and do stuff. Usually I take Mondays as a video day and to relax, but it seems like most of you guys want Good Morning Pop Culture 5 days a week. I mean, everyone that I met, including superfan Adam Shawhan, says, oh yeah, I can't wait till you go live on Mondays. So press 1 if you want me to start going live on Mondays, because we can make Good Morning Pop Culture a 5-day-a-week thing. It's already a staple, a pillar of the channel, if you will. And it ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Like I said, guys, it's one of my favorite things we do each week here on the channel. We kick ass, we take names, we take ass, we kick names. I don't want to reference Guardians of the Galaxy, excuse me. But we do it every day. We do it with world class. And all you wonderful people out there to listen. Okay, lots of ones, fine. We'll do it. Mondays are when you need me the most. Fine. Well, you know what? Like the James Bond poster says from GoldenEye, no limits, no substitutes. There we go. No fear, no limits, no substitutes. Well, don't fear, because I will not limit myself to Tuesday through Friday, except no substitutes. There we go. So GoldenEye gets referenced again. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, don't burn myself out. Here's the thing, guys. I love doing this show. I love doing this stuff on the channel. It doesn't burn me out. You get burnt out when you have to do stuff, at least in my opinion, when you're forced to do stuff you don't like because you have to. Well, I'm fortunate enough to do this full time, and I love doing it. So one extra day of Good Morning Pop Culture is not going to burn me out. I don't really party hard on the weekends anymore, so I'll get up and do the show on Mondays when you guys are on your way to work dreading it for a case of the Mondays. We'll call it a case of the Mondays, Good Morning Pop. Oh, I got a segment. This is our segment, only here at Good Morning Pop Culture. So on Mondays, we're going to do a thing called a Case of the Mondays, where you guys tell me what you got planned for that Monday of work and how shitty, if it's shitty. So like, I got to do 25 interviews or this or that, and tell me what you're dreading most about doing at work that day. We could start doing that every day of the week, but let's start it on Monday with a Case of the Mondays. So I don't have anything planned on Sunday night into Monday. So I guess, what's the date on Monday, since you all want it so much? So September the 3rd is when Good Morning Pop Culture starts on Mondays. So next Monday. So let's just keep these numbers up. Let's keep us rolling. Let's kick some ass. Well, I wanted something to rhyme, and these days there's so many mouthpieces for Lucasfilm. I think they deserve to be called out once a week. Yeah. The thing is, a lot of these people have kind of shut up. Let's be honest. We're not hearing, what's his name, Scott Mendelson come out and say shit. We're not hearing, there was a Preachy article that I lost the link to. Maybe Michael from Retro Blasting can resend it to me. But there's a lot, these people are just kind of shutting up right now because they don't want to, tip the apple cart. They've kind of fucked up. Next Monday is a holiday, Labor Day. Well, then you know what? We won't do it on Labor Day. We'll wait. We'll do it the following week. What is the following week? The 10th? We'll do it on the 10th. There we go. I don't really celebrate Labor Day because I went to private school, so we had to go to school on Labor Day. It wasn't really an event for me, so I don't really think of that. Much like President's Day and all that other stuff, we got Catholic school days off. So like we got the day after Halloween off for every year. No, I didn't see the fan art. I'll check that out after the show. Let's see. Keep on rolling. I'm not going to sue you for liking Limp Bizkit. When I was a kid, I had that CD. I thought it was cool as shit. Let's see. Today is kind of a holiday. Today is National Power Rangers Day. It is. When we get to the 9:30 hour, we'll talk about it a little bit. I know some of our listeners don't give a shit. And I get it. You're not old enough or you're too old for it, but I was that prime age of 5 years old, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Oh, you were homeschooled, so no day off for you. My neighbor was homeschooled. I always thought he had it really good until he went from homeschool to high school, and he's like, I don't have any friends. I'm like, well, your homeschooling was awesome, because he would like do his work and then watch TV, so I was a little jealous, but whatever. Do I think Bumblebee is going to be good? No, I'm not going to watch it. I didn't watch The Last Night or whatever it was fucking called. Let's see. So what else did we have to talk about today? Like I said, I was so pumped to talk about Horror Hound, but I did get everything else prepared for the show. So does anyone here like Alec Baldwin? Because I sure as shit don't. He seems just like a slimy piece of crap sometimes, because he's angry and he yells at his kids and he says some shit you really shouldn't say to your kids. I'm not even worried about his politics. I'm just worried about how you treat your family, and we've got some stuff. So speaking of family, Joker origin movie cast Alec Baldwin as Batman's father. So what do you guys think of this? I'm a bit older than you. Does it mean we can have a Transformers Day? Well, I didn't christen today as National Power Rangers Day. I believe Saban or Hasbro or somebody did, but Transformers is cool in my book. I just wasn't alive for it. So I don't have the same emotional attachment that you guys would. Transformers to me is cool, and I like the toys. My cousin had them, but at the end of the day, it's like G.I. Joe and He-Man. It means a lot to some people. To me, there's respect, but that's about it. Voltron. You saw Voltron first. Well, to be fair, Power Rangers, the Super Sentai, was out way before Voltron was out. So, let's see. Alec Baldwin was in Thomas and the Magical Railroad. Yes, he was. We don't talk about that here. So, not a fan of Alec Baldwin. That seems to be the general consensus here in the chat. So, Alec Baldwin is going to be in this Joker origin story. And let me say something. This Joker origin story seems a lot like the Blunt Man and Chronic movie from Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. You guys remember? You know what I'm talking about? Where they get this superhero movie with all these huge actors cast, and then it's just stupid and a failure. That's how I see this Joker movie coming. It doesn't excite me, because Warner Brothers fucked up. They built the hype around Jared Leto as the Joker and all those tattoos. Cesare Japan, thank you very much for your super chat. Sweaty balls. I believe, was it 4 to 5 years ago, maybe a little longer, they had Sweaty Balls ice cream from Ben and Jerry. And Kroger, my local grocery chain, refused to carry it because it was too offensive. So we never got the Sweaty Balls ice cream. And it pissed me off because I was going to buy it. I was going to, try it out, try the Sweaty Balls. But I didn't get it because Kroger made a decision for me that I wasn't, allowed to buy a joke ice cream. You see, going woke goes back further than just recently. We didn't call it going woke back then. It was overt political correctness where they didn't want to offend. Well, sometimes, you know what? Fuck it. If you offend, you offend. A joke's a joke, and it works. So, I don't think anyone's feelings would have been really hurt had somebody seen Sweaty Balls ice cream. A kid would have been, what's Sweaty Balls? Or they couldn't have pronounced it. Because the kids that would see it probably can't read. Kroger's too high class for Sweaty Balls. I don't know. My Kroger is pretty low class. I was in there yesterday to pick up some water, and I was like, Jesus, why do I shop here? But this Joker thing, the reason I use the Jay and Silent Bob analogy is because remember how Dante goes, I can't believe they got Judi Dench to play me. Well, now they got this Joker movie that the DC franchise is trying everything. Well, first they start out with Zack Snyder, director of Watchmen, and what's that other movie with the girls and the thing? Nobody remembers. Grendel Fan 84, there you are, my friend. Thank you, and good morning. If they plan for Baldwin to play anything besides Trump as Thomas Wayne is total bullcrap. That's his shtick. Damn it, not even 9 a.m. and I'm already pissed. I'm pissed too. Grendel Fan. By the way, Grendel Fan, thanks for coming out this weekend. We'll be in contact. You have my number. We're going to hang out next time I'm in Indianapolis for sure because it was just awesome. 100%, dude. I know you had a great time. I had a great time. All the bullshitters, thank you very much for your hospitality. Sucker Punch. That's the name of the movie. But to this thing, why, to jump off of you, Grendel Fan, if he plays like a Trump-style Thomas Wayne, what does that say about DC and Batman? Are they trying to act like this other world, the other universe, the Flashpoint universe is our universe, and that we're living in the fake world, and that prior to 2016 was the real, pure universe? Are they really going to go down that path? Do you think they have the goodwill with the fans? I mean, it's a ballsy move, but it's going to fail because, like I keep telling you guys, the people on the internet that are vocal on social media don't equal the tickets bought or the comics sold or the things like that. No, what they equal is like a voice on the internet, some pixels. They don't really give you, they don't help your business grow. So don't appeal to them. They're this phantom fan base that don't exist. And, I was thinking what they're going to try to do is load this movie up with big name actors. Like with Zack Snyder, you're like, oh man, we're coming off Watchmen and Sucker Punch, and it's dark tone. So we're going to copy the Dark Knight, and we're going to use that approach. Well, trying to mimic Nolan failed miserably. We got Martha. We got all kinds of crap. We got Suicide Squad. When we got the Suicide Squad, we also got this new inventive Joker. Oh, he's sending dead rats and used condoms to the cast. He's crazy, guys. He's crazy. You got to check him out. He's the craziest Joker yet. You get a cucked out Joker who offers Harley Quinn up to Common in a bar. You get him doing like stupid crap. He cries about shit. I hate Suicide Squad more than any of you hate most movies out there. That movie was fucking dumb. I can't believe it's real. Like when we did the commentary for it for the Patreon, I about lost my shit. It's so boring and dumb. It's one of the dumbest fucking superhero movies that have ever been made. So they try that approach. Then they go with the basic approach for Wonder Woman, but the media hypes it as this feminist piece. But the movie wasn't that. So then we're lucky. We get away from that crap. Then we get Justice League, which is a culmination of all the shit that came before it, and there you go. Now they're taking this approach where they're throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at this film. Todd Phillips of The Hangover and Old School fame is directing. Scorsese's involved. Joaquin Phoenix. Alec Baldwin. There are all kinds of huge... I think De Niro was rumored at one point in time. We're having all these heavy hitters come in to talk about this movie. The Hollywood Reporter is saying that Thomas Wayne will paint him as a cheesy and tan businessman who is more a mold of 80s Donald Trump. You know what? You know who did 80s Donald Trump better in the 80s? Biff from Back to the Future. See, that's how you make that joke. Alec Baldwin, fuck you. I don't really say this shit on the show about actors, but man, fuck Alec Baldwin with a passion. You were good in Beetlejuice and The Shadow and some other shit, but man, you are a one note joke that only people that like SNL laugh at. You know, like when I'm on Hulu and I see those little clips of SNL and I see his ass playing Donald Trump, I don't even care political stuff. That doesn't bother me. I just am tired of your shtick. You're not fucking funny. Didn't he do the Gong Show or no Match Game? Did that? How long did the Match Game go for? It could still be on. I could be very wrong, but I don't really watch anything with this fucker. Politics aside, I just don't like Alec Baldwin. The man isn't it anymore. You know, I get it. You do what's funny, but you've run that shit into the ground, and now you're taking your shtick and you're trying to infuse it into Batman. I was hoping that DC would get their shit together and we can move on to a new era where DC is the main event and Marvel has, you know, laid down for a little bit and then they're going to wake up from their nap and take their spot back again. But no, Marvel is done essentially after Avengers, not even because they're going to fail, because the story came to a logical conclusion. That's what a lot of people out there don't realize, guys. If a story comes to a logical conclusion, it always stays alive in your heart. And I'm not trying to sound funny or preachy, but think of it like this. Return of the Jedi ended. Yeah, you were sad to see Star Wars go, but even before you had all those expanded universe novels come out, you knew that Han and Princess Leia got together, Luke was a Jedi, and everything was safe, and the day was saved thanks to the struggles of the Rebel Alliance. So then you moved forward, and you kept on going and going and going. Well, they come back, and they change the story, and it changes how you feel. With the Marvel movies, once the day is saved, you know, Thanos is the biggest threat in the galaxy. Yeah, they're going to maybe try to put Galactus in there down the road. But other than that, you can't get bigger than Thanos as of now. For the characters they have the rights to use, that's where you have. The logical conclusion ends that, and we all leave happy. We leave the theater, we have a good feeling, you know, and then it's time to take a little break. And then because you have that feeling and that break, you know, when they come back, you're excited. Oh man, last time was great. Look at the hype for episode 1. Barring the quality of the film, because you hadn't seen it yet, you were excited because the last Star Wars movie you had seen was the Return of the Jedi. And then, yeah, the prequels, a lot of people didn't like them. A lot of people did. Point is, the feeling of goodwill after that movie was the important part. DC is just going to not take a break. There's no goodwill overall. There's no consensus of good feelings towards DC. It's stupid choice after stupid choice. Now we have alternate universes in these movies. Look, Wonder Woman 84 is going to be important for 2 reasons. It's technically like the first true sequel to a DCEU flick, because Man of Steel to Batman versus Superman wasn't necessarily Man of Steel 2, at least in my opinion. I always thought of it as like another movie, and it just kind of continued. And then there's no Suicide Squad 2 yet. It's Wonder Woman 2 or Wonder Woman 1984. So it's interesting for that, but it's also interesting to see a hero or a fictional character go to a period piece time setting. So that'll be interesting to see if that's a success and if other franchises try to mimic it, because in Hollywood, they mimic success. Everybody mimics success. If I do something that works, other people will copy it. That's how shit works. That's how Hollywood works. That's how the world works. You take something that is popular and you mimic it. And sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's worse. Sometimes it's pretty good in its own right. I mean, I think Battlestar Galactica was a response to Star Wars on TV, you know, for the TV version. And some people love it. I've never seen it. But the stuff that came out post Star Wars in the vein of outer space entertainment was a response, and some was good, some was shit, some was Moonraker. Ugh. But we're going to see where that goes. But now with this alternate universe shit, I'm not seeing a huge success. I'm going to see a lot of people saying, oh, this is Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth 4. How many out there know what Earth 2, 3, and 4 is? Press 1 if you know what it is, and 2 if you don't, and 3 if you don't give a shit. Before I get too far gone down this rabbit hole, Eddie Max Levandor, thank you very much, my friend. In the 80s, we called going woke being stupid. Yeah, it is. And they made fun of him on sitcoms. I mean, even if you go back and look at Family Ties, which had Alex P. Keaton, who was a conservative, and his family was, you know, old school liberal. Even then, on that show, they didn't make his parents complete quacks. There were even characters that were quackier than them, and then they called it out and they had a joke. So those people in the 80s would have laughed at the stupidity of today. Alec Munoz says, I don't get it. Is Leto's Joker the same as Phoenix? No, they're different Jokers. See, we're talking about that Earth's one stuff. Because Alec Munoz, you listen to the show, you have a good grasp on popular culture. If even you are saying, I don't get why there's multiple Jokers, just think of all the people that are only watching these movies once and then they'll come back because they liked Batman as a kid. Fandom or geek culture is very different than your average everyday film consumer. Your average everyday film consumer may come out to see all the Tom Cruise movies, or that's it, and maybe they'll watch one at home every once in a while, but they got their own lives. They'll watch TV or sports or stuff like that. Geek culture people will watch the same shit. They will break it down. They will study it. They will get into the minutia of it. They love it. And even if someone like you, who I'm going to assume you know this shit because you listen to this show, is confused, think of all the people that go, wait, this isn't the same guy. Where did the tattoos go? Why is this in the 80s? This, that, and the other. There are too many questions. Like the Riddler says, just too many questions. Let's see. Suicide Squad is the shittiest movie. All right, we're trying to catch up. Okay, a lot of ones, a lot of twos, a lot of three, a lot of ones and threes. Grendel Fan 84, thank you very much. Portraying Thomas Wayne as Trump is an insult to everything the character stood for. This takes away a major motivation for Bruce to become Batman. Excellent point. So, if Bruce has no motivation to become Batman, even if this is the Flashpoint story, which I don't know how many of you have seen that, but you have an alternate Batman and Thomas Wayne help the real Flash from Earth 1 go back and change something so that he can get back to his regular timeline. And Batman meets his father, and they have this really cool moment. Well, if Batman doesn't have a father that's noble, like remember in Batman Begins when he's like, the Waynes have done this, and yeah, I'm still working at the hospital, but so and so at the Wayne Foundation, this and that and the other. If you portray Thomas Wayne as a douchebag, not a noble man, then he has no, like Grendel Fan 84 says, you have no purpose of being Batman. There's nothing to avenge, Oh, your father and mother were murdered. My parents were kind of assholes. So you become Batman? No, you probably become an alcoholic and fuck around all day. I get it. But I don't get why they would do this to ruin Batman. Batman I think, as a character that everybody likes. I don't really hear too many people say, I hate Batman. I can see some people love Batman and some people think he's just okay. But Batman is probably overall the most beloved superhero. More than Superman, sadly more than Spider-Man, definitely more than Wonder Woman, though she's probably, top 5 category. But this Trump analogy just doesn't work. We don't really get into the political aspect of things here on the show, but god damn it, that just doesn't work. It's such a stupid idea. I wish I would have known that this was the plan all along, so I could have told people that, we're never going to talk about it here. You're stuck on a delayed plane. Well, I hope Good Morning Pop Culture is helping you through the delay. All right, lots of threes. Who gives a shit? Lots of threes. Okay, who gives a shit? Alec Baldwin, DeMille Jr., thank you very much. I'm amazed about how much money I'm going to save by not seeing these movies. I think I'll just donate it to World Class Bullshitters. DeMille Jr., that's a fantastic idea. Thank you very much for your super chat. It gives us the opportunity to do way more. Tell us about other guys. By the way, if you want us to show up in your neck of the woods, so far, let's just keep this to continental U.S. right now. I know, I'm sorry. But if you're continental U.S., tell us what a good con to go to is in your area. And we'll check it out and we'll see if we can get in. Some of these shows are just like, hey, you can't use that name. Some of them are cool. Do we really need a Joker origin? No, we don't. We don't need a Joker origin story for, I don't know, the reasons that it's better not to know where the Joker comes from. Batman Mask of the Phantasm did it right, where you saw this guy in the periphery, this gangster, this thug, and he didn't say anything to make him special or stand out. And then Batman drew the lips on him and you realized it's the Joker. Then you realize it's the Joker. Then you learned a little nugget about the Joker's past, and that's it. He was responsible for the death of Andrea Beaumont's father, and that's all we know. We didn't need to know what he had for breakfast, what he likes to do. The Killing Joke is interesting because you can interpret it as, is he really telling the truth to Batman, or is this another lie because the Joker's so insane that he doesn't even remember the truth? And that's the beauty and the depth of the character. When you tell people something black and white, that's how it is, you kind of ruin the appeal of it. Let's see. Can I confirm the blank cover is actually a blank page? For Stealing So, like It's going to be like those blank sketch cover variants where, it'll tell you what it is and it's just a space for someone to get a sketch on. Is that what you're asking? The all-new world-class bullshitter is Darth Muffcon. I can see Darth Muffcon. Joel, why would you want us to go to the Cincinnati Comic Expo? You don't live in Cincinnati anymore, man. You probably want to go to Tidewater Comic Con or some shit down there. I always look at the Killing Joke as Joker being crazy and telling his warped version of the truth. That's it. See, there we go. Right there. Your interpretation is as interesting as the story itself because it opens up conversations. This movie won't open up conversations. And then we're going to get it. We're going to have a story that takes place in the 80s, but with modern 2018 politics. I just don't buy it. I hope this movie flops, falls apart, blows up on the launch pad. The Pui. Thank you very much, the Pui. Good morning, Jeff. Nice to see you made it back. Say hi to your mom for us. Hope all is well. P.S. I think the last scene of The World's End was awesome, even though the movie was not that great. So let's see. The Pui, let's break down that. First off, I'm glad. Thank you for your concern. Yeah, we made it back safely. I was home Sunday afternoon, about 7-ish, and I was tired. That's why when I went on Comicsgate the other night, I just had no energy. It was really nice to meet Doug Tenaple. He was awesome. It was nice to meet all those guys, let's be honest. But, Earthworm Jim, I grew up with that shit. That's fanboy moment for me. I will say hi to my mom. She's doing well. She's working. Everything's well on this end. And the last scene of The World's End was awesome, even though the movie was not that great. You mean when they're in the bar and he gets like that cornetto wrapper or something and they're going to tell the legend? Because I've only seen the movie once and I did not like it. So I probably will never watch it again. I take it back. I'll watch it when I'm older. Because like I've said before, sometimes you have to be in a certain headspace to understand the movie better. And I think the Edgar Wright films do that properly. When I would watch Shaun of the Dead as a teenager, I thought, man, Ed's a great character. I'm so sad to see him go. Then I got a little older, and I had a friend who was like an Ed. And you have a friend that holds you back, and you understand that when the character does die, Sean's able to grow as a person, live with Liz, blah, blah, blah. And it's just better for everyone involved that Ed was out of the picture. So it took me a little bit to understand that. So maybe when we get a little older, maybe later 30s, early 40s, I'll understand The World's End a little more on a personal level, and I'll be able to appreciate it. But as of now, I do not like that film. It's the only one of the Cornetto trilogy I don't own. I've owned 2 copies of Shaun of the Dead, 2 copies of Hot Fuzz. Very proud to own those films. But, talk to me in 10 years. We'll still be doing this show. Probably be on TV. What channel would be good to host us? Who's not a woke TV channel? I don't know. The woke warriors will all be dead by then. Well, not even dead, but they'll be done. They'll be moved on to the next thing. So, TV may be sane again. Who knows? But thank you, the Pui. And like I said, just ask me and I'll definitely check it out again later down the road. Let's see. The Pui. LA Comic-Con. You should come. Is that Los Angeles or Louisiana? I'm going to go with Los Angeles. Maybe. I don't know. Do you think we'd be welcomed in California? Do you think our skin might catch fire? Or their skin might catch fire if they hear us talk, What is that line in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? We're pilgrims in an unholy land. We'll take that Indiana Jones approach. I'll even ride up in a motorcycle with a side cart, and I'll put Dion on the motorcycle. I'll try to squeeze into the side cart, and Kendo and Nick can be on like a thing in the back. Let's see. We had really big super chat from Sinorvath653. Sorry, Sinovorath653. Thank you very much. I hope the legendary Monsterverse takes off next year with Godzilla King of the Monsters. I really want to see it succeed. It would be nice to see giant monster movies finally take some of the spotlight for a change. Well, Sinovorath653, I'm with you on that one all the way. Besides being a Godzilla fan, besides enjoying Godzilla 2014, besides enjoying Kong Skull Island, both of those films, I like them so much that I bought them on Blu-ray. I'm not opposed to putting my money where my mouth is. If I like something and I believe in it, I will buy the product to make sure that it succeeds. And I bought those 2 films on Blu-ray. I'll show them at a later date. By the way, folks, I'm going to be doing a live stream video coming up where I'm going to talk about all the people that came out to Horror Hound and show. People brought us gifts, and I want to thank everybody and show you guys what was brought. So Grendel fans out there. Grendel fan is part of Comics Elite, which is a really great comic book store in Indianapolis. And they've gone out of their way to support world-class bullshitters. And the owner, Sean, came over, and he was a great dude and gave me some advice with stealing Solo and stuff like that. And they're really good people, and I want to make sure that you guys know who they are. We had a couple people bring out other stuff, and I just want to show it. I'm not going to show Timothy Riggs' gift because I don't want to get taken off YouTube, but I do want to do something like that, and I'm going to show that I got those Blu-rays right here and there. But back to your point. You want to see Godzilla King of the Monsters succeed. I do too. It's funny how old stuff becomes new again. We look at the 3D craze in 2009 through, I guess still today, 3D movies are still a thing. Less than they used to be. But 3D movies were big in the 50s. You had that revival in the 80s. And so I guess, what is it, every 30 years or so, a craze comes back. So 30 years ago, it would have been 1988. I was about to be born. And monster movies weren't really a thing in the 80s. You had a return of Godzilla popularity in the 90s. But I think it is time for Godzilla King of the Monsters and King Kong and all that stuff to take off, because you had Godzilla versus King Kong in the 60s. But it was made with two guys in suits. Some people would think it's hokey. It really hasn't stood up to a lot of the general audience. Imagine two big heavyweight franchises crossing over with today's technology and the spectacle. That's something different. Remember how I always talk about how Star Wars doesn't have the spectacle aspect behind it, and it won't reach those numbers because it's not something everybody sees? Well, you know what? You don't see two big monsters that are iconic in their own right fight on screen. You just don't see that anymore. You saw Freddy versus Jason in 2003, and that was a cool spectacle back then, and it made its money, and then it went away. And I think the next one will be Godzilla versus King Kong. Now, I want King of the Monsters to make a ton of money. I just don't want people to be fickle on the internet. And I know that's like saying I don't want water to be wet. But here's the thing. People bitched in 2014 that there wasn't enough people, like the human element was too much of the film. There wasn't enough Bryan Cranston. So like I've said before, I bet you they go above and beyond for this next one to give you less Millie Bobby Brown and Vera Farmiga, and they do a lot more Godzilla stuff because he's fighting all those monsters. But then you're going to have the critics bitch that there's too much monster action and not enough human element. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't segment of the audience that could make or break this. So if you like the idea of monster movies, don't listen to complaints about not enough people, because that's a response to what came before it. And they couldn't even win. They can't win if they do that. So let's focus on that movie. And I want to see that succeed. I want that to be the next big craze. They couldn't get it with the Dark Universe from Universal. The monster movies didn't work. You didn't have the Mummy, and we had the Mummy and it failed. You're not going to get the Invisible Man and a New Frankenstein and all that shit. No. That's done. That failed because they set off to be an expanded universe, extended universe, an interconnected cinematic universe before they wanted to be one good movie. Well, I think Godzilla was one good movie. I thought King Kong Skull Island was one damn good movie. And now we got a sequel, and we're going to continue to build. I think they've taken the Marvel approach because, if we're honest, Iron Man appeared in The Incredible Hulk. So that was technically, Iron Man was in another movie right away. Then when we get to Iron Man 2, we had Black Widow appear, and then we had Thor have Hawkeye in it. So it's not jumping the gun to have other characters appear before the big main event payoff. They interconnected early on, and then they built something big. That's what we're getting with Godzilla. That's what we're going to get with King Kong. So I'm hoping that the big monster movies do work, and they'll work in other parts of the world. So, what was that? Pacific Rim 2 was a flop in America, big hit elsewhere. Godzilla comes out. Godzilla's a Japanese property, but it's also very beloved in America. That'll work here. That'll work there. It'll work in other parts of the world, in China, Europe. People have a connection to Godzilla. Godzilla has a fandom much like Star Wars, much like Star Trek, things James Bond, that it's been around for so long and it's been passed on from generation to generation to generation. And when a new one comes out, people will come out to support it. You'll be surprised how many fans of these things there are. So let's just hope that the next generation gets in on it, and that we can have Godzilla movies and Kong movies and stuff in it forever. Staples of cinema. Staples of cinema. So thank you, Sinvorath653. That was a very generous super chat, and I appreciate that. And I loved your question /point because I feel the same way. David M says, ordered Stealing Solo, my first comic in 30 years. Ooh, 30 years. Well, David M, I'm going to make sure it's the best comic you've read in 30 years. No, but thank you for your support. Thank you to everybody who supported Stealing Solo. Let's break this down for a moment. $13,000 in change in less than a week. You guys are an awesome fan base out there, and it's just going to go, it can't go anywhere but up from here. It's crazy to think that we have this community that loves what we do, and this idea has resonated with so many people. And I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be giving out, there will be updates the entire time. I'm going to give updates of art and the poster and a few other things. Not going to tell you the whole story, not going to tell you the twist end, the crazy elements, because first and foremost, this is a parody, and it's a very funny parody. And I was telling the guys on the channel the story. I laid it out for them because they're just curious, and they laughed the whole time. So if you like our brand of humor, and I know you do, and if you just like to laugh in general, this will appeal to everybody. So that is my pitch for today. I'll be talking about it more on the High Council tonight, and because I'm going to be working on it. And we're going, like I said, balls to the wall in terms of quality. It's going to get professionally printed with better quality covers than the Marvel books, on the same high quality papers, the DC, the high gloss stuff. It's getting professionally colored. It's going to be professionally lettered. It's not going to be your cousin's bargain basement comic held together with a paper clip because I couldn't afford staples. No, this is going to be top of the line quality. The prints that you guys are going to get are going to be printed on the highest quality glossy paper, edge to edge, beautiful stuff. So when you support Stealing Solo, yeah, you support a channel like this, but you also support like high quality independent art. So there you go. But thank you, David M. And I can't wait to hear what you think of it. Let's see where we're at. God, people are really watching. E. Michael. Oh, there we go. I love the icon. Michael P. Keaton was the man. Or excuse me, Alex P. Keaton was the man. Did you enjoy the Highlander series / universe? I think they should reboot it. I like Highlander 1 a lot. Actually, I'll go out and say I love that movie. I thought Highlander, I still do. Highlander, fantastic movie. A lot of fun. Joel showed it to me years ago. So this would have been about 2012 when I first saw Highlander. Now, I'd seen Highlander 2 as a kid, and I saw the cartoon. So Highlander was always kind of like an iffy thing that existed, but I wasn't a fan of. But when I saw that first movie, I was in 100%. And I've been a fan for 6 years now. So I like Highlander. But Alex P. Keaton was the man. Now, E. Michael, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if a lot of you guys know this. Alex P. Keaton actually popped up in a Marvel comic a couple years ago. So I believe it was a Daredevil book. It's either Daredevil or Spider-Man because those are my two go-to titles. But if you go back and check it out, somebody is looking at a newspaper and they're looking at a list of possible jurors for a case. And Alex P. Keaton was listed. It was supposed to be the real Alex P. Keaton. He had a little less hair. He had glasses and stuff like that. So if you ever want to know what happened to Alex P. Keaton after the show, he did move to New York, like in the final episode, and he made it, and he's alive and well in modern day. So there you go, E. Michael. I hope you check that out. Just Google Alex P. Keaton Marvel comic book. It should pop up, and I love that show. A lot of talk about Godzilla. When will the common sense craze come back? We're at the forefront of it right now. So hopefully by 2020, after Star Wars Episode 9, shit's the bed. John Lance, thank you very much. Hey, Jeff, speaking of big monsters, robots, etc., what did you think of Pacific Rim? Lame, decent, missed opportunity? Keep up the good work. John Lance, thank you very much for that super chat and the compliment. I saw Pacific Rim on TV and I turned it off. I wasn't sold. I don't dislike Guillermo del Toro, but at the same time, he's not a director that I jump about to see everything he's done. I liked Hellboy 1. Didn't like Hellboy 2. I like Pan's Labyrinth. I haven't seen The Shape of Water. So when it comes to Pacific Rim, I went to watch it, and it just didn't keep my attention. I don't like the idea of the two people in the suit. The setting was a little weird. I didn't really get into it. Now, it could have, you talked about missed opportunity. A missed opportunity would have been for a Power Rangers film to be like Pacific Rim, because I know it's Power Ranger Day, and I said I'd talk about it at the end of the show, but the Power Ranger movie that came out in 2017 wasn't good. Not at all. I hated it. But you had some decent elements, and missed opportunity was the Megazord fight. The Pacific Rim fight was much more intense and engaging than the Power Rangers fight due to smaller budget, but still, you could have done more with it. So I think the Pacific Rim wasn't for me. Other things were a missed opportunity in that vein. But it's nice to know that at least they're doing other things out there. Not everything's a superhero movie. Not everything's dark and depressing. Pacific Rim, I didn't like it. Other people did. It was a hit. They made 2 of them. They'll probably make a 3rd one because of other parts of the world liking it. So, like Lord of the Rings, like Harry Potter, like other things that I'm not a fan of, if other people are out there and enjoying it, awesome. I don't think it needs to go away. Until you do something that antagonizes a fan base, hurts people, just keep on doing what you're doing. John Lance, thank you very much, and I'll keep up the good work. Let's see. I'm into film. Just got back from Korea. Watched the video of Dion on the turkey suit. Best $50 ever spent. I'm into film. Thank you for sending that turkey suit super chat. We always make good on that. And I remembered your name. I even talked about it on the stream, I believe. All I know is that I talked about it to the guys. I remembered you, and I remembered our friend Rainier Angle, who sent in the Mr. Ed thing. But the turkey suit, I'll always remember it because it was an insane joke that turned into a real thing. And now we're your contribution has made Billy Zane meet a man in a turkey suit and give him a hug. So Billy Zane, the actor who's known for the Titanic, The Phantom, Back to the Future, as well as many other things, will always remember the time that black dude in the turkey suit hugged him in Indiana. So thank you. I'm into film. I hope you laughed. I laughed the entire time. Dion was dreading putting on the suit, but once he got the suit on, much like everything Dion does in real life, he did it with class, world class, and it was an excellent moment. So if you haven't checked out that video, folks, make sure you do. It doesn't have a ton of views, which, it hurts. I'm into film, sent it in. We've got the turkey suit, and there are tons of celebrities that have watched Dion shake his tail feather. Let's see. Alpha Terranima, favorite Godzilla and or King Kong movie? Well, Alpha Terranima, thank you very much for your super chat. Let's see. What's my favorite one? I liked... Okay, my favorite King Kong movie, I know it's controversial. I might say Kong Skull Island or the 70s version. I know people say, what about the original? I respect it for what it is, and I'm not here to knock it or take away any of its achievements. But, I liked the Jeff Bridges one. Maybe it was because it was the first one I ever saw as a kid, and I'm remembering it that way. But I really liked Kong Skull Island because it was cool. I liked the Vietnam setting. Yeah, the soundtrack was a little stereotypical, but I enjoyed it. Favorite Godzilla? Either Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla or definitely not 98. 2014 was good, but I think Mechagodzilla was my favorite Godzilla film overall. And I used to play with this Mechagodzilla playset a lot. So maybe that has something to do with it. But Mechagodzilla is damn cool. And it reminds me of the Dragon Zord, even though Mechagodzilla predates Dragon Zord by 30 years, maybe 25. Who knows? The Rookie Critic. Thank you very much. Morning, Jeff. Good to see you. I'm working on videos all day and all week. Back to your book, or I'll back your book towards the end of the month. How's your morning going? Well, first off, Rookie Critic, thank you very much for your interest in supporting Stealing Solo. Whenever you can, I appreciate it. My morning's going incredibly well. As you can tell, I started Good Morning Pop Culture because I was excited to be here. Like I told some of the people we met in Indianapolis, excuse me, I'm a little congested this morning. When I'm not doing the show, I really want to be doing the show. I'm excited to do this, to talk to all of you, to talk about entertainment, to entertain you. It's fun. And when I go off air, I think, man, I kind of missed the show already. Like once I click that stop broadcast button, I sit here for a moment and I think, okay, now it's time to go on with whatever's next. But I'm doing well. Good Morning Pop Culture has been around for so long, not because of I don't like doing it, because I love doing it. And it's going to become even bigger in the future. Like I said, the 10th of September, I'll do a Monday show. And if it's as successful as these ones, well, then damn it, Monday through Friday, all the time. You know what? It will be. It will be successful because you guys are here to back it. Every day is a good day with Good Morning Pop Culture. So, Rookie Critic, I hope you let me know what videos you're doing. Actually, I'm a subscriber now, so I'll check it out. I still love your Fandom Menace video, and I'm going to be trying to get in contact with the person who wants to make the Fandom Menace documentary because, this is ground zero for a lot of it, and I'd love to be involved to help that get in front of a wider audience. Okay, so are we all caught up on the super chats? Yes, we are. Okay, so thank you, everybody. Obviously, the show ain't over anytime soon. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Do I like zombie movies? I was in Korea for a special screening for a movie called Rampant, a movie I worked on. All right, well, I'm into film is more than just being a fan of film. You're actually involved. So sorry I missed that. I do like zombie movies. Let's see. There are a lot. There are so many zombie movies I enjoy. Obviously, I like the original Dawn of the Dead. I like the remake. Yeah, I said it. I like Night of the Living Dead. My favorite zombie movie is probably Return of the Living Dead, Shaun of the Dead. I like zombie movies a lot. In college, Dustin and I used to go get Chinese food and rent zombie movies from Blockbuster. And yeah, I said Blockbuster. Don't care. Don't care. I did it. I rented DVDs from Blockbuster in the 2010s, and I watched zombie movies. Oh, The Rock is here, finally. The Rock is the people's champ. The Rock says the world-class bullshitters is the place to be. Well, when you're talking about The Rock, you're talking about the most electrifying man in all of entertainment. And The Rock's word is law. So thank you, Jabroni. I appreciate that compliment, folks. This is the People's Podcast. So make sure that you don't miss out any day of the week. Let's see. Brain Dead is Andrei Lubinski's favorite zombie movie. Fantastic flick. Fantastic flick. Peter Jackson, right? Well, that Brain Dead or Dead Alive is what they call it. Different parts of the world, if that's the one you're talking about. Zombieland. I liked Zombieland. We got to see that in college early. When I went to Michigan State, Sony came and showed it to us maybe a month or so early. Dion had to work security that night. So that's a fun story. Kevithar, what? Stealing Solos at 13,265. Looks like you impressed some folks in Indy, Jeff. Yeah, definitely did. The premise is really enticing to a lot of people. And like I said, I'm going to be working on that as soon as I get off of this stream. I'll turn the air conditioner back on and we'll get to work. And you guys are going to see some pages, and that's going to impress even more people. And we're going to do a countdown telethon the closer we get. I mean, Stealing Solo is going to be big. It has the possibility to be the biggest Comicsgate comic ever. You know why? Because I want to make it the biggest comic in Comicsgate ever, and anything's possible. So never limit yourself, folks. Never limit your ideas, because when you do, well, then you know what, you've given up. So that is my moment of inspirational wisdom for the day. I always smell what The Rock is cooking. I'm into film. I definitely want to check out the teaser trailer for your movie. And if you ever want to come on here and promote it, I'm all about that. We love horror here on World Class Bullshitters. And in October, we'll be talking about it a lot more. If you want to just tag us on Twitter, that'd be the best way so I can check it out. I've been going through coffee at a slower rate today. Dion was a security guard. I got to make a movie based on that. Yeah, Dion was a security guard. Dion, is a guy who's about law and order and justice. And in college, he was a security guard on campus. He was a green coat. He used to wear this green coat. It was awesome. Great dude. Definitely, that's why when we go to these conventions and Dion's there, you never have to worry about anything. He gives everybody their ocular pat down, and he doesn't take no shit. We got to bring World Class Bullshitters to Raleigh SuperCon. Of course, we will go to Raleigh SuperCon. Obviously, 2018's convention appearances are over for now, but 2019 starts a new day. So we'll be using the Patreon money. The more it grows, the more shows we can do. So if you like World Class Bullshitters and you want extra content, you want to help us get out into the real world, that's the best way. By the way, folks, this week for patrons, Nick is editing a video together from some of the footage we shot at the show. So that's going to be an exclusive over there to everybody. And I know you guys are going to like it because you like what we do. Dion is Judge Dredd. I'm fine with that. I like that idea 100%. Let's see. Salvador, thank you very much for your generous super chat. Someone mentioned it on one of the live streams that Daisy Ridley had done a nude scene. Took one for the team and looked it up. She was portraying a corpse. The best acting she's done to date. Yes. That is when I believed her the most, is a dead body. A lot of people want to claim that you're sexist if you dislike Rey or Rose Tico. But when you critique somebody's work, I don't think that's critiquing the person. And when I think about Daisy Ridley, I think of her as a overacting mess in Star Wars. I've never seen her in anything else besides the corpse scene, so I'm with you, Salvador, about that's her best acting job. But I'm so tired of people, we have to curtail or whatever because we didn't enjoy it. Daisy Ridley's just not the best actress to be in a Star Wars flick. She got her role. it's kind of bad. And when it's over, I think we'll all be happier and smarter people when her tenure in the Star Wars universe has come to an end permanently. So thank you, Salvador. Thank you for taking one for the team. See, we have the strongest community here on YouTube, folks. When somebody like Salvador will go out of his way to make sure that Daisy Ridley's acting was on par in that one scene, so you don't have to suffer the emotional or psychological damage of seeing it for yourself. So everyone, press F to pay respects to Salvador, because that man is a legend. McKinney90, thank you very much. Morning, Jeff. I just had 1,000 followers on Instagram yesterday, so that's a good way to start my morning or my Tuesday. McKinney90, I think you have more followers on Instagram than World Class Bullshitters does, because we don't really Instagram's the social media platform we have, but rarely use. Our Twitter and our Facebook and all that stuff is great, but no, Instagram's not. So you are ahead of us. So if you have any advice, McKinney90, to help us get our Instagram up to as many viewers as you have, let us know. Or followers, excuse me. Now, I do have a question. What do you put on there? Because Nick runs it, but I want to make sure that I join and support it too. I actually have to download Instagram on this phone. I don't have it yet. But clearly, you know what's up. I don't. So teach us. Teach us. Jeff, if you don't want to go to Texas, you can always do Oklahoma, specifically Tulsa. I could do all those states. It's just the beginning. I mean, really, I know we say that and it sounds cliche, but literally, we just started doing this shit and it was already a huge success. And we have a formula, and we're gonna keep giving everybody what they want, and we're gonna show up, and you'll show up, and we'll just have fun. I mean, if 4 people showed up in Tulsa and we had drinks at a bar and we got more awareness to the channel out there, then we've succeeded. You know, working these conventions isn't about selling shit. It's about bringing awareness to who we are. And the name is catchy, and a lot of people remembered it. So let's say congratulations to Bikini90, and a lot of people are paying respects to Salvador. So thank you, Salvador. I appreciate it. Dion is the man with the plan and the original tan. He may be late, but he's never fake. Too sweet to be sour, and a man who yells, "I have the power!" That comes from superfan Adam Shawhan. Good morning, man. Hope the dogs are treating you well. The Rookie Critic says, while at work, I recommend comics and YouTube channels to customers. I'm making a Comicsgate Fandom Menace streaming versus discs B Squad videos. Well, I'll be watching all those. I'm glad you're spreading the word about Comicsgate. Again, much like the Fandom Menace, Comicsgate is a group of people who have, their finger on the pulse of what's going on, and people are seeing that and waking up. Comicsgate, the creators are all, really successful. And maybe I'm new to it, but it's working out for me too. So if you are true to your audience and respectful and give everybody what they want, everyone's a winner. Let's see. Who in the Rudy Poo are you? I'm so glad it's The Rock. It looks like it's also The Rock with the WWF Championship. If I could see the sideburns, I could tell you where the... So what's Jeff? When's Jeff? Here's the better question. Why is Jeff? There we go. Lando got it right. Some people on the set of Jessica Jones one day had a twisted idea what Comicsgate was. See, it's the twisted idea that they get wrong, because whatever idea they have about Comicsgate is incorrect. There's no hate. There's no bigotry. There's no anything negative. It's just a group of people who make their own product to sell. And, if there's any kind of bastardization of the message, it's out of fear. It's intentional on the part of people that have stuff to lose. That's what they need to remember. With the Star Wars thing, why do they attack us? Because we're more powerful than they can possibly imagine, and they fear what we can do with our wallets, what we can do with our combined voices. Star Wars knows, they need the streaming service to be successful. They need the Disney park to be successful. We have the power, not to reference He-Man or superfan Adam Shawhan, but we have the power. So if you aren't happy with what they do, then you walk away and you can hit them where it hurts, right in their dick. Jeff is here to save the souls when the muff awakens. I am here to save your souls when the muff awakens. John, I do not know any of those scenes. You can ask Nick. Nick is the expert of that. Red Lion-O. There can only be one. Sorry, there can be only one. Shouted Ray the Kurgan. Oh man, Ray the Kurgan. Ew. Now, I want to watch Highlander now. I actually watched it. It was on Amazon, and I fell asleep in the beginning because I was tired as shit. But it's cool because when I first saw it, I didn't realize that it was Freebird Michael Hayes in their wrestling match. And they got that awesome scene down in the parking garage, and then you have the flashbacks and stuff. But it's funny how Highlander has stood the test of time with such a passionate fan base because it hasn't really had a success in decades. But that first movie and everything, that story, the lore behind Highlander is so powerful that people have stuck with it for what, over 30 years. Was it 86 as Highlander or 87? So I mean, we're over 30 years at this point. Um, yeah, folks in Hollywood, if you want your movies to stand the test of time where people buy it constantly and keep quoting it and it becomes a part of pop culture, is vernacular the right word to use? Um, make something with a good story. Don't worry about being too modern and hip. Make something that will hit everybody from every age. Star Wars did it. Back to the Future did it. You can do it too if you try. They try to say the usual message regarding Comicsgate is sexism and racism. Well, I don't think Comicsgate is racist. It's very everybody has an equal platform, no matter what skin color you are. I mean, it's not a bunch of angry white dudes. So where's their message now? In the toilet. Let's see. I have zero tolerance. He won't Jodie Foster Batman. Oh my god. Lando, my man, please. Please. The DJD show has more photos of episode 9 set, but it can't post them because the owner's channel shut down. I understand. It's sometimes, like in your case, it's not smart to play it too crazy. It'll come out and it'll destroy themselves. And then don't worry. Don't worry. Salvador, thank you very much again. Regarding fans rewriting the new trilogy, would you consider doing a video re-editing? Sorry, would you do a video reading your favorite submissions, and we could do minor edits to episode 7, or is it completely off limits? Well, you know, I was open to the idea, and I still am. And I think what you said that's kind of convincing me is, would you consider doing a video reading your favorite submissions? I think I would rather do that than trying to do a live version because I could edit it and make it more focused. So yes, Salvador, I would consider doing a video about that. And maybe I'll do like my 3 favorite pitches, and they have to be so many minutes in length. You could, it depends. You can't not kill Han Solo. Maybe, you know what I'll do? I will take this down, and what I'll do is I'll write like a little rule, like you can do this, but you can't wipe out episode 7. You can't bring back Han. But in episode 8, you could wipe out Luke being killed or something like that. We'll figure it out. More along the lines of, it's not rewriting the whole trilogy, but it's basically rewriting episode, like fixing 8 and pitching 9 is what it is. Because believe me, if I could rewrite a new trilogy for 7, 8, 9, it would be like take place 20 years ago. So to avoid that, with all these endless possibilities, it kind of keeps you focused on the writing prompt, if you will. It'll be like the PSATs. I don't even know what an acronym for that would be right now, so I won't even try to say it. But yes, Salvador, I will come up with a set of rules, and I can do a video on that, and you guys can vote on who has the best one. You know what? Maybe I'll give out a little prize. Do something fun, a giveaway on the channel. We haven't done a giveaway yet. I'm open to giveaways and gifts and stuff like that. So, you know, a prize will keep people super motivated to come up with the best product possible, the best story, if you will. So all you got to do is blow my socks off. I'll talk to the other guys here on the channel, and maybe we'll do a little voting process too, because I'm all about keeping everybody engaged and keeping everybody in the loop. So Salvador, thank you. I have written this down, and I will make sure that I go back and do that, because that sounds like a lot of fun. Can you make Han less old douchebag and change how he dies? Let me think about the rules of this game, and I'll give you guys more of an update soon. Jeff rules and Kathleen Kennedy rules. Thank you, Kevin Burdine. Thank you. David Cook says, I have to say my favorite part of the day, listening to world-class bullshitters in the morning and driving my big red truck. Beep, beep. How is stealing solo going? Any new art soon? Heavy breathing intensifies. David Cook, first off, thank you very much. So it's Big Rig, David Cook. Big Rig, Nick Utam. We laughed. We said that about 20 times this weekend, and we laughed each time. Stealing Solo is going well. I wanted to premiere it on the High Council last week when I was here on the channel. so people would be excited and a lot of eyes watching. And I have some stuff that I'm working on, and I will be giving you guys tons of updates. Like if you're looking at this and you're expecting this to be the entire thing, do not, because I always do stuff to make stuff better on the channel. So with Stealing Solo, I'll be showing art. I'm going to get it colored but not lettered to show you guys, because I don't want you to know everything that's going on, but I'm going to entice you with really good, high quality art. I'm going to put the same level of detail. If you liked the pitch image, we'll wait till you see the next one, because I'm going to be putting just as much time into it. And I'm even thinking about putting a tier where I can draw you into the comic, because the first page actually has some slots for listeners and people that want to support it to be in the book. So I'll talk about that with Ethan, and we'll talk about that if it's a thing I want to do. Yeah, it'll slow down the process a bit for me, but it'll be, at the back end. It won't slow anything down. Ignore that. It'll be completely fine. We'll never miss the release date. It'll actually be done earlier than you think. My point is, there's tons of stuff coming on, so you can keep the heavy breathing. You can keep going on and on, but you guys are going to get tons of great stuff. And by the way, I met a fan of the channel who said, I have an idea for you. If you want to use it, do. If you don't. His idea was awesome. Not in terms of story. The story is locked in. I'm sticking with what it's going, but he gave me an idea for an idea for a cover or a poster print. And I'm going to use his idea for probably the poster print, maybe the cover. But I'll tell you this, it was one of the single funniest concepts. And he gave me the idea to use freely, and I think you guys are really going to like it. So Stealing Solo has actually evolved for the good since its launch, because I'm always thinking about stuff. I'm always thinking about how to make this show better and different, more engaging. I'm always working on doing more with the channel, and this project is no other. So if you like the evolution of how that's gone already, this channel, wait till you see the evolution of this story, because it's going to be awesome. Yeah, Stealing Solo will be a movie. Damn it, it will be a movie. All right, George? Yes, George. God damn it, swear. Thank you, John. Yeah, Adam Shawhan, super fan. Adam Shawhan was there. He knows what it's going to be. He can't tell you because he's sworn to secrecy as the super fan of the channel, but he knows what it's going to be, and take his word for it. It's damn good. Did I ever watch the 1982 film The Junkman? I have never seen that film. I've seen parts of Repo Man with Emilio Estevez, but I've never seen. Is Stealing Solo for mature readers? Not really. I mean, if you want to give it to a kid, they may not get it, but it's not really for only mature if you're. It's for fans of the franchise, like that. I can't really tell you what's in it, but don't worry. If you're honestly, we're going to buy a copy for your kids. If you have smart enough kids that have good reading comprehension, sure. There are no wieners in the comics. Sorry. It's morphin time. Almost morphin time. We'll get there in just a second. Emilio! Heavy breathing to wheezing. Calm down there, David Cook. We don't want you passing out on the show. You got a big rig to drive, and we got to get you safe back home. So just deep breath. Grab the earlobes. Woosah. Just take it easy, man. Okay. Gordon Bombay. Yeah, I love Coach Gordon Bombay. He is my favorite fictional coach. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, who's a better fictional coach? Coach Carter? I mean, he's based on a real person. So I like him, but I'm attached to Gordon Bombay by heart, or because of what I grew up on. So before we start on the our Remember the Power Rangers thing, I wanted to give a quick shout out to somebody that we've talked about on the channel. And people say we have a vendetta against this man, and we don't. I don't have a vendetta against anyone. I like to think that sometimes I call people to task on their bullshit, but at the end of the day, we're all friends enough. This person is no different. Now, he doesn't know who we are. We may meet one day. We may interact. But Kevin Smith, just want to give him a quick shout out, has lost 50 pounds after his heart attack. And, good for him. I know I called him a shill, but if you pay attention on the channel for what I said, I also said I think he's a good person and a good father, but I think he's a shill when it comes to his opinions. But I want to give him a quick shout out and wish him well. Congratulations because of the big weight loss. No, there are some people we're just not going to talk about anymore. But check out Kevin Smith's weight loss right here. This is awesome progress, and it's a lot of work. So I just think we should mention this and say, congratulations, Kevin. Here's to another 50 years. Stealing Solo will outsell any angsty bullshit you see in comic stores these days, that's for sure. Damn right it will. Gotta understand, it's all about the fun. I make you a promise, like The Rock says. The Rock is making the promise of the promise of the promise. When you hold that book, you're going to have a good time. From the opening page till the last page, you're going to like it. It's not boring at all. And I stand by my writing 100%, and the artwork too. Yes, good for Kevin is 100% right. For anyone that says this channel is a bunch of negativity and crap, no. I've liked Kevin Smith's work for years. Loved it, actually. View Universe stuff, Zach and Miri Make a Porno. I really liked Red State. All, I wish him the best. I'm glad he's got his shit together. He struggled with weight. A lot of people have. But he knows what's up. And when, Death came knocking on his door, he shut it and he said, no, thank you. And now he's here. So, Kevin Smith, we're proud of you here at World Class Bullshitters. Though Ricky Critic says, my short comic/movie pitch, Jason Momoa is an ancient werewolf warrior, but gets fat and lazy over time and has to get off his fat ass to save the day. I like that. I like that a lot. That's funny. Oh, man. Keep getting phone calls during the show. I apologize. I'm glad it's on silent, though, so you don't hear my Beverly Hills Cop ringtone when we get hit with a copyright strike. I watched Kevin Smith on the Joe Rogan show after his heart attack. The doctor said that the heart attack he was having, he only had a 20% survival rate from it. Well, you know what? It was meant to be that he made it. People have been in bad places before and you've come back. So hopefully Kevin Smith comes back stronger than ever with Jay and Silent Bob's reboot. He stays thin. He makes a movie that we all can like and appreciate. And he rides off into the sunset happier and healthier than ever before. Let's see. Cole Ween, thank you very much. Mr. Plinkett's Last Jedi review is up on Red Letter Media. Well, I guess after the show, we're all going to go watch it. I know I'm going to go check it out after the show. Now I'm going to eat some breakfast. I'm going to get working on Stealing Solo. That comes first. Red Letter Media will be there later. They got their fans. I used to watch the show regularly. Not much as I used to. Kevin Smith is no longer Fat Man. That's true. And his show is no longer about Batman. So we'll have to check that out. That's the truth. Yeah, I'm glad he's getting healthier too, Mondi. But that's enough talk about Kevin Smith. Kevin, we wish you well, my friend. I didn't watch Razor Fist video on John McCain, Dio Brando. I've been away. John McCain died at Horror Hound. Not at Horror Hound, but while we were at Horror Hound. That'd be a really interesting thing. No, but John McCain died while we were at Horror Hound. And I just was busy, man. Like, I wanted to do more with people, and I wanted to party all night, but for some reason, that convention wore us out. Even Superfan Adam Shawhan saw it. We looked beat on Friday, and we fucking were. People were coming in from work and driving all day and then going to the show, and we barely made it through our delicious steak dinner at St. Elmo's Fire. Cadmium Red, I hope you feel better from the bad food you ate. Drink some water, take your vitamins, relax. You'll get back up, man. Steal the market with Solo, Jeff. I will. And this is going to be big, and then the next one's going to be big, and we're just going to continue to make these comic books and skit shows and stuff like that. So I know what kind of entertainment I want to see, and we all just want something fun and made with, quality. Jeff, talk about Cyberpunk 2077. I saw the trailer from E3, and that's it. And then I heard what the quartering said. I don't really know. I know about the tweet, and that's about it. I was never going to buy the game in the first place, so I can't say I'm all enraged about the situation that I'm not giving it my money. So, sorry, I don't really know too much about that. Cadmium Red, let me know if you're doing all right. Anybody that ever has like an illness, or there was the name just popped out of my head, but the one guy who was around a shooting, that was scary. But then he came back and told us he was all right. So let me know how you're doing. Yeah. Jeff was at Horror Hound 3 days, like my convention. I was beat too when it was over. Dude, I came home and I fell asleep. Like last night I went to bed at 8:45. I still had the convention funk where I was burned out and tired. Any guests on the High Council tonight? I believe that the quartering is supposed to be stopping by. I haven't talked to Ethan about it yet. Ethan's been very kind to help me with Stealing Solo. So we were on Comic Skate Sunday night, and I'll be back probably going to show up to most of these now, but I've been focused on that. But we haven't talked about the High Council at all, so I'll talk to him this afternoon. Oh, there was a gameplay reveal video today. I'll have to check it out. We'll talk about it on Good Morning Pop Culture tomorrow. What time is the council tonight? 9 p.m. On Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Easy Cheese 788 says, I think this is the first super chat from Easy Cheese 788. So thank you very much. See, Kevin and I can disagree about The Last Jedi, but we can still be happy about his weight loss and wish him the best. That's what decent people do. Yes, that's what decent people do. That's what every person should do. Look, we have differing opinions on entertainment every day. I do. Everyone does. But I don't ever honestly wish ill will towards anybody. I know a lot of people wish ill will on some of us and the Comicsgate people and crap like that, and that's just messed up. Your parents didn't do a good job if that's how you were raised, or that's how you have, turned to the dark side, if you will. Not trying to sound funny, but you never wish like, oh, I wish they would die type of thing because they disagree with me. No. Yeah, you disagree with shit, but at the end of the day, you want them to rebound. So, see, Easy Cheese, thank you very much for your proving the people that listen to this channel that we're not what they say we are, unless it's good, because that's what we are. Thank you, John Lance. I appreciate that. See. Ooh, King Eric, you had an infection in your arms and legs. I hope it wasn't a staph infection, because I know those are serious. So just take care of yourself, man. That's all I can say is take care of yourself. Let's see. So I guess for the final 20 minutes, we may go a little longer. Who knows? But let's talk. I know some people are going to click out when I talk about Power Rangers, and that's fine. I mean, I get it. You're too old, or you were too young, or you just don't give a damn. Let's see, though. So today is Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Day, according to some people. Let me check that out on Google. Yeah, so oh my god, okay. So Power Ranger Day is today, and there's an Amazon sale, which I'm not going to talk to you about a fucking sale. This isn't a spot. They haven't paid for advertising. But here's something interesting. Whatever happened to the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? This could be a little fun. Even if you don't like the show, this will at least pique your interest and keep you around for a little while longer. So whatever happened to the original Power Rangers? Now, first off, before I read this, I found this show when it first came on. I'm 29, so that would have made me 4 years old, going on 5. And it was one of the first shows. Like, I remember watching Batman the Animated Series, and I remember liking Crash Dummies and Thomas the Tank Engine, and that's about it. Spider-Man, I knew him, and I had some of the toys, but the cartoon hadn't come out, so I wasn't really like a Spider fan yet. But Power Rangers was the first show that got me. Yeah, you heard my beep. Yeah, it was my phone ringtone is now the Power Rangers communicator. But this was the first show that I ever bought into hook, line, and sinker, where I watched it every day. I did the karate moves. Shit, I took Taekwondo because I wanted to be a Power Ranger. I didn't know what form of martial arts they did, so my mom signed me up to the nearest place, and I got into it. I actually won 2 trophies because I was bigger than their kids, and I could kick them real hard. But this show, I was instantly hooked into, and it basically from 94 till about 96, late 95, early 96, I was hooked on this show. I watched it every day, multiple reruns when they showed it. I had the toys, everything. And it's the first toy line that meant a lot to me because I used to carry these things everywhere. There are pictures of me as a kid at my grandma's house, and I'm in a chair, and what did I bring to grandma's house? Every Power Ranger and the Megazord. I had to have them with me at all times. So it's funny that this show is now 25 because it makes me feel old. But it's nice to know that this show has carried over for a lot of people, not in terms of it's still good, because for many people it was never really good, depending on your point of view, but that a lot of people have good feelings towards this. And it's nice that I'm not alone in this. And there's the Power Morphicon, and yeah, I don't do the extreme where I'm going to dress up in a costume or buy the, helmets or even the DVD sets. But I will, keep the toys alive and talk about stuff and pick up some stuff here and there. So Salvador, thank you very much again. I got a fever, and the only cure is more WCBS. Thanks for doing what you do, Jeff. Working and lurking while I work on my cosplays. I'm eager to submit my Star Wars fixin'. Well, Salvador, I can't wait to read it. Thank you for working and lurking to listen to Good Morning Pop Culture. When we go 5 days a week, Be prepared for more of this fun. But Salvador, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I too love the Bulk and Skull theme. Balkans, it's funny when I go back and look at that show on Netflix every once in a while. Bulk and Skull are the best characters on the Power Rangers, not the Power Rangers themselves, because the Power Rangers are kind of dicks if you watch it from a certain point of view. Bulk and Skull, yeah, they're douchey in the beginning, but then they just want to be friends, and the Power Rangers rip on them. So maybe I should do one of those videos. There's that Zach Morris's trash video. The Power Rangers are pieces of shit. That's the video that I'll make down the road. Rookie Critic says Power Rangers can get real deep sometimes. I'm pretty sure they can. I was one of those kids that only watched Mighty Morphin, and once it got into the lore and it got a little deeper and they tried to make it more serious, I stopped watching it as soon as they got rid of the original costumes and went to Zeo. No, thank you. I had one Zeo toy, two. I had the Gold Ranger and the Red Ranger Zeo, and that was it. And then I never did Power Rangers again. So I do remember a cool story about my mom, though. When I wanted the Gold Zeo Ranger, I was in the 2nd grade, and I was walking home from school, and she met me on the corner before you get to our street, and she's like, "I got something for you," and she pulled out the Gold Zeo Ranger. So again, my mom's awesome. So thanks, Mom. Let's see. So whatever happened to the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Well, let's find out together. So sadly, I know what happened to the Yellow Ranger. 25 years after gracing TV screens in 1993, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are still chugging along, fitting a new cast of 20-something teens with colorful spandex and interlocking robots each new season. Part of this is baked into the show's origin as an American remix of imported Japanese footage from the long-running show Super Sentai. However, changing the cast and the premise allows for the show to keep running with new themes, Zords, etc. Still, no matter how many Rangers the decades-old show goes through, the original teenagers with attitude will always have a special place in the heart of 90s kids. That's me, who grew up with karate kicking their friends a few too many times on the playground. Again, that was me. While some mostly enjoyed the show, the 15 minutes of fame afforded them, others have launched into surprisingly successful and idiosyncratic careers. Let's plug into the Morphin Grid and find out where these people are. Okay, so Jason the Red Ranger, the best Red Ranger. No offense, Steve Cardenas. Let's see. Last Seen, the low-budget kids movie Monsters at Large, 2018, along with Misha Barton and Steven Tobolowsky. So those are pretty big names, comparatively speaking. He doesn't have many IMDb credits apart from the aforementioned Monsters at Large, but he remains a mainstay of the Power Rangers convention circuit. And here's what he looks like today. So I'm not going to read all that to bore you guys, but yeah, he's still hair's a little different, but he doesn't look too terrible. I know he kind of has an issue with the Green Ranger, who's the most well-known and most loved Power Ranger, let's be honest, green or white, depending on what you want to call him, Tommy. But no, Jason looks like he's doing okay. He's alive and well and still acting, and you see him at conventions, and he seems very friendly, so that's important to me. Kimberly the Pink Ranger, last seen the Canadian indie dramedy The Space Between, which she also directed. Okay, so she's doing well. Arguably the actor to see the most success post-Power Rangers. She was on the J.J. Abrams show Felicity. Ugh, I remember that. I remember I would watch an episode and see her, and then I was like, I hate this show. She was also on Spin City and ER and a few indie films. Currently, she's dipping her toes into directing with 2 well-received short films and her independent dramedy, The Space Between. And, of course, she made a welcome cameo at last year's Power Rangers reboot. Yep, she was in it. She still looks good, too. And this is a more recent picture of her. So, good for you, Amy Jo Johnson. Good for you. Billy the Blue Ranger. Last seen, the micro-budget crime flick Degenerate of 2012 as a goateed punk. Goateed punk. So let's see what he's up to these days. While people speculate that it was due to the classic PR chestnut of low pay, Yost revealed in the 2010 interview that he was relentlessly bullied on the set by crew members and producers for being gay, which precipitated his departure of the show. This led to a tragic few years where he attempted anti-gay conversion therapy and even contemplated suicide. Damn, Billy. Thankfully, he has since recovered and moved on to TV producing and theater, and of course, is a fixture of the Ranger conventions. I did not know that he went through that. I knew about the gay harassment, which sucks, but I didn't know he tried to go through therapy and suicide. Well, it looks like David Yost is doing all right on the other side of all this bullshit, and we all loved the Blue Ranger. Let's see, the Yellow Ranger, Dui Trang. Last seen, Crow City of Angels. Sadly, she died. I knew that one. She died right around 9/11, so that didn't really hit any of the news that a lot of people would be talking about, obviously. So she's no longer with us. And Karen Ashley, the second Yellow Ranger, maybe a nice lady. No knock to her, but I don't care about Aisha the same way I care about Trini. Zach, the Black Ranger, what's he doing? An angry fan and pop star never stopped stopping. So he was in the Lonely Island movie. Good for him. Let's see. He makes cameos in the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which I'll have to look at. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Space Cases, Firefly. So he wasn't really doing too much, but here he is with his kids, and he looks pretty good, man. I mean, this is 25 years after the show. He's got a family. He's doing all right. I've actually met this guy. Cincinnati Comic Expo 2014. I was walking out from the car, and he was walking out of the bathroom. So no, I wasn't following somebody into the bathroom like a weirdo, but he was walking back on the convention floor. I was like, oh my God, it's the Black Ranger. He goes, where? And he was real cool, and he shook our hand and high-fived us, and he was a nice guy. Tommy the Green/White Ranger, the best, the main event, if you will. Last scene, returning to Power Rangers for the 25th anniversary special. So let's just get this out of the way. This dude has embraced his Power Ranger fandom so strongly that it's his career. Basically, he does his fan films and some stuff, and he's an MMA fighter, but his full-time career is still being the Green/White Ranger. And you can catch him at shows, and he puts on the costume and all that stuff. And he's one of those people that has embraced what he's known for. Maybe he's only known for one thing, but he's taken it to the next level, and people really appreciate that. A lot of people, like William Shatner's had a couple things, but some of the Star Trek people were only known for that. Like, can you name 5 other things that DeForest Kelley was in? I can't name one. What's his name? Leonard Nimoy had a couple more things, but overall, a lot of people like in Star Wars or Star Trek or just shows in general get typecast as one thing, and they just kind of flounder around at conventions and embarrass themselves by charging exorbitant amounts of money for stuff. He has taken it to the next step. He's embraced his fandom. He's embraced people on social media, through the internet. He has that benefit, and he's an all-around good guy, and people like him. So the Green Ranger is doing well. I really don't need to tell you what he's doing, because all you do is look him up on social media. And he's at shows, he's remaking stuff, he's in fan films. I want to get him on this channel to interview him about a couple things. And that's a possibility because of the way he is. And here's what he looks like. He looks fine, and he's alive and well. And the Power Rangers are alive and well to a lot of people. So that's pretty much where the original Rangers are. And I'm glad they didn't go into the Steve Cardenas and all of that, those other people, because not to knock them, Johnny Young Bosch and Karen Ashley, not knock them at all, but wasn't my Power Rangers as much. I was into the first stuff. They came in, I still watched. I saw the movie, didn't really love it, but the original stuff is like my childhood condensed into a 22-minute episode. So I don't really have too many things to say besides I did wear a costume. I had a White Ranger suit that I wore every day for a year. I would come home from school. Mom, is my suit ready? I'd go, I'd put it on. I was in kindergarten. Sue me. And then I would put it on, and I'd watch the show and play with the toys and go out in the backyard and fight invisible space putties. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, Power Rangers was a big part of my childhood. I know a lot of people out there have different shows that they're involved with. Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Ninja Turtles. If you're younger than me, there's stuff you were probably watching. Maybe Batman Beyond was your show. You're young age. I was 10, so I watched it religiously, but still I didn't have the same attachment that I did with this show. So let me know what kind of show you guys were into, like I was into the Power Rangers. I mean, even now, almost 30 years old, I look back and go, yeah, it was Morphin Time. Maybe it will be Morphin Time one more time, I tried some of the modern comics, and I appreciate the art because they didn't make them buffed out and roided Power Rangers. And, some of the newer stuff from Japan is damn cool. But nothing will replace that time in my life. Grendel Fan 84 says, slight segue. Nimoy's cameos in The Simpsons were hilarious. Yeah. Monorail run, right? He was on the Monorail episode. See, when I think of Leonard Nimoy post Star Trek, I think of directing, like 3 Men and a Baby. And Leonard Nimoy also was on that space show? And he had a couple other things. That Bilbo Baggins song, which was really bad. But no, that's why when I said about Shatner and him, I kind of stopped, because I remember Shatner was in a ton of stuff. He was in Twilight Zone and other acting gigs before Star Trek. He did T.J. Hooker. He did all kinds of stuff. He was on that Boston Legal show with James Spader. William Shatner transcended Star Trek, much like Harrison Ford transcends Star Wars. Mark Hamill, yes and no. Maybe if you're a real fan of Mark Hamill, you know him for other stuff. But if you watch a lot of stuff Mark Hamill did in the 90s, it was just a riff on Star Wars. Like on Third Rock from the Sun, when he was running around in his hotel room quoting Star Wars, he fake cut his hand off and all this shit. It was just a big commercial for the special edition, but still, Still tied into with Star Wars. Yeah. Oh, okay. Here we go. Claw Stork. The Green Ranger frequents my local mall. Well, Claw Stork, if you ever meet him, say hey from World Class Bullshitters. We want him on the show one day. I didn't watch Voltron as a kid, so I don't really have an attachment or an opinion on it. Besides, I seen them combine, and the toys look cool. Nemo was in a good chunk of Fringe. Joel tried to get me to watch that show. I didn't really do it. Um, Dragon Ball Z, Batman, SWAT Cats, Death Note, Terminator 2, RoboCop Commando. Omeo Ramen, you had a bunch of great stuff that you watched growing up. I watched DBZ, I watched Batman, didn't do SWAT Cats, saw Death Note later on. T2's great, RoboCop's good. I don't love it like a lot of people. Then again, I didn't realize it was supposed to be funny when I was younger. And then I love Commando, fantastic film. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, I've never heard of that show. Maybe I'll check it out. Sounds interesting just on the name. Boston Legal was short-lived. Okay. Wasn't Boston Public that high school show? I'm whatever. I don't do a lot of network TV shows. Shatner was on Psych. Cesar Romero was the best Joker. Nick will agree with you 100%. McKinney90, thank you very much for your generous super chat, my friend. And good morning. I watched up until Lightspeed Rescue and didn't pay much attention to the Disney era and Neo Saban era, except for Wild Force's 10th anniversary episode, Forever Red. I remember Forever Red coming out because I think I was in college and they had like a Monopoly and a couple other things that came out. And as you know, I'll admit when I'm in the store and I see that Red Ranger helmet, you know, the original one, the Tyranno Ranger, if you're of the Japanese influence for Jew Ranger, however you pronounce it. Whenever I see that, I instantly stop and look. Now, being the toy collector that I am, Bandai, excuse me, had a brain fart. Bandai put out these American figures called the Legacy Collection, and they just weren't that good. And I know a lot of fans are buying up that crap. And I hold myself to a higher standard. I hold Power Rangers to a higher standard, and I checked those out. But no, I remember Forever Red. And pay attention, folks, to McKinney90 Super Chat, because the Disney era and the Neo Saban era, what does that mean? It means that Disney bought Power Rangers, they fucked it up, and it went back to Saban. So while I don't think Lucas is going to buy back Star Wars, that kind of shit has happened in the past with Disney. They have taken a property, they've taken over a property, and it didn't work out, and it went back. So just remember, folks, that Power Rangers was the example. Disney has failed recently, and other people take it back and make it a success. I mean, look, we're still talking about Power Rangers post Saban getting back the franchise. There's been a movie, there's been conventions. Power Morphicon still going strong. There's they just sold it to Hasbro, so there's interest in that. Don't expect Power Rangers to go away. Power Rangers is the new G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man. It is the staple of 90s nostalgia. It is the thing that will always be remembered for a 90s kid staple. I mean, kids today will watch He-Man and think it's kind of hokey, you know, possibly homoerotic. People watch G.I. Joe, think it's funny, kind of dated. That's how people feel about Power Rangers. But as a 90s kid, that was the main event. That was the show of shows. And it's nice that it is now officially cemented as the show that represents the best / the worst of what 90s children's entertainment was. So I'm excited to say that on the show. Ooh, Power Rangers will be forever. Cool. You know, I can always look back and there's a little moment of my life that will always be recognized. Inspector Gadget, James Bond Jr., stuff that I was into, nobody remembers those. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are always a part of your toy store. That's cool. I'm happy to see that. Let's see. The Rookie Critic says Lost Galaxy, In Space, Time Force had death and loss. Oh, okay. Again, Rookie Critic, those are all Power Rangers shows that I didn't watch as a kid. I saw Power Rangers in Space like once or twice. Because, you know, sometimes you're home from school in the summer or you have an off day or a sick day and you just watch TV and you catch shit. Like I remember when I think it was Power Rangers in Space crossed over with that live action Ninja Turtle show that was really ugly. Ow, crap. I remember that. And that's about the extent of my Power Rangers in Space love. I remember Biker Mice from Mars. I remember that show very well. Okay, John Lance, fine. No possibility, no doubt about it. Fine, it was weird. Power Rangers and Pokemon. Yeah, I think Pokemon never really left. But I think once we get a little further removed from Pokemon's first American appearance, yeah, the games came out, but I mean like the cartoon and the cards. Once we get to a couple years further from this, I think Pokemon will be seen in the same regards. But Pokemon has outlived Power Rangers by a lot because Pokemon, like I said, never went away. They're always the games. They're always a success. They've had so many movies. People are just into that as a franchise. So the nostalgia, I don't know if you can be nostalgic for it because it's always there type of thing. But maybe you'll be nostalgic for the original 151. Um, who knows? But I welcome that. Nostalgia can be fun and can be a powerful tool for good and evil. It's good in the case of the Power Rangers, where you remember stuff, you take a couple days out, you look back, you have some fun with it, and then you move on. You maybe pick up a toy here or there, or you get, the movie and you watch it. But Power Rangers doesn't use nostalgia to ruin its brand and try to infuse something that it's not. Star Wars does. They took Luke Skywalker and made him evil. They made not evil, but they made all the male characters that have achieved something great in the original into useless, lifeless husks because you have people in power that use that power for evil. Don't forget that, folks. Michael says VR Troopers, Beetleborgs, Superhuman Samurai, Cyber Squad, and Masked Rider 90s as well. I watched all of those shows. Now, VR Troopers, I didn't like it as much because that was when Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was still on, and it seemed kind of cheap. I mean, Power Rangers was cheap, but it still had more production value than VR Troopers. Beetleborgs, I watched that after Power Rangers. It was kind of hokey. The part I liked the best was in that mansion with all the monsters, because I've always liked monsters and stuff as a kid. So was it Flubber the Clown or some shit like that? That was way more interesting than the actual part when they morphed or Beetleborged or whatever they did. Superhuman Samurai, Cyber Squad, I watched that show all religiously because I thought Servo, or what is his name, Gridman, was really cool. It's funny how, as a kid in the 90s, we were all into Japanese stuff, but we never knew it was Japanese stuff because we didn't have access to the internet the way we do now, or didn't have it at all. And you would watch these shows, and sometimes they'd be a little different. They'd look a little different in the way they were filmed, but you never knew 100% unless you were already well versed. And some of these shows didn't have American releases outside of the Americanized version. You didn't have home video releases of these shows. They just popped up and they looked different, but they were the shows that you saw. Thankfully, with the internet, you learn about the legacy in Japan for Zeo Ranger or Gridman, and then you can pick up merchandise and stuff like that. Masked Rider, I did watch. I liked it pretty much. It's known as Kamen Rider across the world. I don't really know much about the history of that show, but I think it's cool. And I remember the crossover episode where the Power Rangers go to that planet where Masked Rider was. So that was a lot of fun. The Sentai theme songs are better than the Power Rangers theme songs. I disagree, Cesario Japan. The Zeo Ranger show theme song is so hokey. I mean, yeah, I don't understand the Japanese language, and I'm not knocking, because yesterday I was listening to this wrestler's theme song. His name's Shinsuke Nakamura, and he has one theme song with no lyrics, and it's really cool, and then he has one with lyrics, and it's like Japanese rap, and it's cool too. So I don't really have any problem with that, but the music is just kind of like, hey, it's like when you listen to the Dragon Ball Z music from Japan. It's like kind of like TV version orchestra. It's not really that powerful, but when you get to the Power Rangers music, it's like that guitar, and it's like always riffing and stuff, and it's like it builds up the tension, and there's just so much power behind it, and that's part of its success too. Ron Wasserman, I think he also goes by the name of Aaron Waters. He did the X-Men theme. He did Power Rangers music. That guy was the John Williams of 90s television for kids. Saurian Sky, thank you very much. Dressed only 3 times for Halloween. A Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, OG Red Ranger, and Darth Vader. The helmet was great. The visor made everything pink. SWAT Cats was great. Well, if you only dressed up 3 times for Halloween, you had 3 awesome suits. First off, Ninja Turtles will be remembered, is already well past remembered, is the same way Power Rangers are. I'm thinking of like now this 25th anniversary look back. Ninja Turtles achieved that many years ago, maybe 5 or so. So Ninja Turtles have already been locked into that late 80s, early 90s thing. OG Red Ranger, great design, love it. The funny thing is, to me, the Power Ranger suits are so simplistic, but the design works so well. And then finally, Darth Vader. Darth Vader Darth Vader is the best movie villain of all time. Great suit, great design. Love everything about Darth Vader. So you picked 3 costumes, 100% across the board. SWAT Cats was great. I think there was a video game of that. Was SWAT Cats on cable, or was it on network TV? Because I didn't have cable as a kid. I didn't get cable/satellite until about 01. We had cable for like a brief moment in the 90s when we moved, but then, canceled it. But thank you, Sorian Sky. And if you have pictures of that, I will. If you share pictures of you in your costume, I guess I can share mine. Let's see. All right, Cadmium Red, you have a good one, man. You take it easy. I think we'll go for a few more minutes. I'm feeling it. You guys feeling it? Press 1 if you want me to go a few more moments. SWAT Cat was on cable and reruns on WB, says Jason Bourne. Okay. Well, and Cesare Japan says it was in syndication. I never caught it. That just wasn't a show I saw. It wasn't that I disliked it, but I know there's a video game for Super Nintendo. And other than that, I wasn't. Okay. People want us to go. Fine, I'll go. I'll keep going. Party Amsavi. There you are. Joker origin movie with Bruce Wayne's father. We ain't ever seen shit like this before. Jay, bro, what the fuck is that? That's fucking tuna, bro. Okay. Okay. Is that from Red Letter Media? I'm so far behind. Maybe I should give him another chance. Enough people that listen to this show want me to talk about Red Letter Media, so I guess I can get back into it. Because I don't have any ill will towards Red Letter Media. I just, once their Force Awakens review came out, I felt like everything they went for went out the window. So that's why I stopped listening to their channel. The Grand Inquisitor, thank you very much for your very generous super chat. 80s Kid here. G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, Thundercats, Mask, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, A-Team, Airwolf, Knight Rider, Dukes of Hazzard, Magnum P.I., The Fall Guy, Miami Vice. 80s TV was the best. Well, when you threw in Miami Vice, then everything else before that disappeared, and I realized that the 80s had the best TV shows. Now, in terms of kid shows, 90s to 80s, I will say 90s, because let me give you guys a couple parallels. So you say G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, Thundercats, Masked Ninja Turtles. Well, I'll throw in, because those are all cartoons, so I won't even pick a live action show. In the 90s, we had Rugrats, Doug, X-Men, Spider-Man. We had Ren and Stimpy. We had Tick. We had, oh god, there's so many. Batman the Animated Series blows everything out of the fucking water. There's Superman the Animated Series. There was oh my god, my brain's freezing up right now as I'm thinking of all the great shows that came on as a kid. Let me look at the toys of the shit I have. God, there's so many superheroes. There's just so many that I can't think of right now. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. But if you look at like live action shows, I'll go with 80s all day, because the 80s sitcoms were funnier to a degree. Some of the 90s shit just sucks and does not hold up. Like the Chain Letter episodes, that was a staple of 90s TV, and it sucked. So we I don't really focus too much on those. But I love 80s TV. I love Magnum P.I., Miami Vice, Knight Rider. So much fun. We don't have any live action shows that don't take themselves seriously like that anymore. I mean, the verisimilitude that I talk about here on the channel all the time, the whatchamacallit, like Superman, Richard Donner, when they take themselves seriously, even though it's an absurd premise or scenario, we take it seriously as the viewers. So thank you, the Grand Inquisitor. Those are, they're all solid shows. Miami Vice to me is the best. That I listen to the theme song in my head right now. Arl Knots, like the YouTube channel. I fucking love that channel. That's one of my favorites. That channel puts out great work. You had Electra Woman and Dyna Girl. I've heard of that show. Never seen it, though. Grendel Fan 84 says, I will say this till I die. The Tick is the smartest and funniest superhero cartoon ever. Grendel Fan 84, I will say this until I watch it. I watched it as a kid, but I don't remember very much of it. I just remember it being different and weird, so I turned it off a lot. But I watched the live action Tick from Amazon, and I loved it. And I would like to go back and watch the cartoon now and go pick up some of the comic books and even a couple action figures of the Tick, because I feel like I missed out on a gem. Maybe I was too young for it, but I'm never opposed to going back and watching something like that. I want to go back and watch the Tick now, so hopefully it's on streaming. Abomino, you're excited? Yeah, Arl Knots is great. We watched their Bane video this weekend. Bane Outtakes. It's one of my favorite YouTube videos. If you said, Jeff, make a list of your favorite YouTube videos, that's there. Bane Outtakes. When he raps, I know all the words by heart. Tick. Spoon. Yeah, a lot of people are loving the Tick. Stealing solo action figures. I don't know about how I could get them to you, but I actually know how to make them. We've actually had this discussion. Nick knows a guy. So if we can't do the stealing solo ones, maybe we'll do world-class bullshitters action figures. And I'm not joking. The Rookie Critic, that is a discussion we had this weekend. Nick has the know-how, and the way the channel goes, we could afford to do it and sell those to you guys. So let me know if that's something you would do. Ringo Jazz, welcome to your first chat here on World Class Bullshitters. Oh, Blue Watcher. Okay, cool. Dev, if this is your first time, Ringo, checking out the channel, you're going to love it here because Blue Watcher is here all the time, and this is a channel right down your alley. I think, no, you know, I even think, I know you're going to love it, and you're going to love the people that are here that watch the show. We have a community we've built, so if this is your first stream, go join our Facebook page and check that out and talk to the people. So once this show ends, go back and watch old videos and keep this train rolling. Parker Lewis can't lose. I remember that. We love it all, folks. It's good entertainment, and all these shows were great to share and chat about. This is why we're here, right, Jeff? Good Morning Pop Culture and the Muff of the Fifth Kind. That is why we're here, Bonobi, to just go back. See, Good Morning Pop Culture is a very positive and fun show. A time for you to wake up and on your way to work and relax and remember the good points in your childhood or shows that you loved when you were younger. You know, we can talk about the SJW crazes and stuff like that later in the day, but you need to start your day off right. And Good Morning Pop Culture is the right way to start your morning every single day, Tuesday through Friday, for now. And let's see. Cesario Japan. Airwolf theme song encapsulated epic 80s action. First off, Cesario Japan, thank you very much for your super chat. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I can think of the Magnum PI theme. Bum, 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 and that's it. Going to get a copyright strike. Or Miami Vice. There we go. That's all I can sing. Or MacGyver. Dun. Or the A-Team. Bum, bum. There you go. You can tell by the first couple notes of these songs what's going on. I don't want to, like I said, get the channel to lose its streaming rights, but 80s music in general, I don't know what it was about that decade. Maybe they were taking risks. They were trying new things. They weren't lulled into that sense of, hey, if we use the millennial whoop in these certain types of rhythms, we'll get people to listen to our music. I wasn't alive for 89% of the 80s. My point is, they had the best shit. Music-wise, great movies. I don't know how they did it so right, hit after hit after hit after hit. I guess the stars aligned or whatever you choose to believe in, but we had that. And now we live in an era where nothing really hits. I heard a song called Havana the other day, and I was like, that's a pretty cool, catchy song. Here it's like 2 years old. And like, where did I miss that stuff? I just can't listen to half the shit on the radio because it all sounds the same and it's boring and crappy. But the Airwolf theme, I'll have to go back and check it out. So many great 80s theme songs. We could do a top 10 80s theme song. By the way, I believe it was Superfan Adam Shawhan that wants us to talk about 80s scores on a Patreon thing. We'll talk about it this week. That's when we're going to do that. So if it's not Adam that mentioned it, I apologize. Adam, you can take the credit. But no, somebody's been talking about it. Please let me know. You're probably here right now, and my mind's just, fried. The Tick meets Deadpool. That was awesome. That'd be an awesome concept. It was awesome. I wish it would happen. Let's see. McKinney90. What was your favorite 90s sitcom? First off, McKinney90, thank you very much for super chat. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, hands down. Love that show. One of my all-time favorite TV shows ever. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, I know by heart. I saw all the episodes when they were on, not when they were new, when they were on syndication. See, they were on NBC at night, went to bed, but Channel 64 here in Cincinnati would show them all the time. So I would catch those every day. Usually 2 episodes. It was like at 6 and 6:30 or something. Maybe it was 5 and 5:30. Point is, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a staple of my childhood. Even the sad, why don't he want me no more episode I watched as a kid. And it's funny, I don't think that's the saddest episode because I've never cried from the Fresh Prince, but the one episode that I always hate watching is the last one because it's like, it's over. I can't think of many TV shows that have great final episodes because you want more. And I guess that's what the trick of entertainment is, to always leave them wanting more. But Fresh Prince of Bel-Air just ended, and it was such a somber moment. When the Big Bang Theory ends, we may do a Big Bang Theory final episode watch. We will do a live Big Bang Theory finale watch episode where I'm going to applaud the end of the fucking show. Hold me to it right now. This May 2019, we're doing it. Fuck that show. Excuse me. Excuse my language. But thank you, McKinney90, very much. Let's see. Very generous super chat from our friend Swinging Cod. Thank you very much. When you pick up Tick Comics, grab some Too Much Coffee Man, Flaming Carrot, and Scud the Disposable Assassin. 90s were a great time for experimental independent comics. Hashtag Comicsgate. Well, Swinging Cod, because you recommended it, I will. I know Flaming Carrot because that's where Mystery Men comes from. I've never heard of Too Much Coffee Man. When you said that, I think of Mad TV. I know some people have watched Mad TV. There was that delivery guy that would drink the coffee, his eyes would bug out, and he'd jump around. Right? Was that the same guy? No, the delivery man was somebody else. The Too Much Coffee guy was Pat Kilbane, and he had those glasses on with the big eyes. That was funny. But yeah, I want to check out Scud the Disposable Assassin because that sounds really funny to me. Actually, let me see what that is real quick. I'm just curious right now. Let's see. Scud. Oh, damn. Okay, Scud the Disposable Assassin. Oh, I've seen this before. I'll definitely check it out. I've never read it, but I've seen this before. 100%. I know this character. You're probably thinking, Jeff, show it. Fine, I'll show you the character right now. I may have actually played this video game. This right here is Scud the Disposable Assassin. Let me show everyone out there so you can see it. Yeah, I remember this. I remember this. So thank you to Swinging Cod very much. I will make sure that when I read the tick, I grab some of those too. It'll be nice to remember a simpler time in the 90s where it wasn't like a 27 part crossover like, what was it, X-Men Avengers Blood Ties or Bloodlines, and then you had this Clone Saga from Spider-Man. Just fun, crazy stuff. Alpha Terranema, thank you very much for Super Chat. Did you hear about the new Streets of Rage game that's coming out? Ooh, I did not. I now want to because Streets of Rage, though I wasn't a 90s Sega kid, I have played it, and Streets of Rage 2, probably my favorite one. The music's fantastic. If you want to talk about some of the best video game music ever, Streets of Rage, those two, let's just all of them. All three of them have great music. And number one, to me, Streets of Rage number one is really easy. I used to be able to play that and get to the final boss in one sitting. My cousin and I would love to play it because you call in the cop car and they shoot the missile for you. That was fun. But Alpha Terranema, I'll make sure I check that out because I might actually break my video game policy and hook up whatever system I have to play it because I really want to. Superfan Adam Shine says, thanks again for Sunday and the early birthday gift, World Class Bullshitters for Life. Dude, thank you. I had a fantastic time hanging out with you behind the table. We were talking, looking at stuff that was walking by, shooting the shit. It was just a fun day, man. And it was nice to meet your daughter and her husband. Everybody was cool. Everybody, like seriously, everybody that came to our table to talk to us was super friendly. I said at the beginning of the show, I'll say it again. I can't wait to meet a lot of you guys. It's funny, the job of people that listen to the show that I've met, truck drivers seems to be pretty popular. We seem to be popular with truck drivers on World Class Bullshitters. And our friend Cal Bunga, I believe he'll be at Star Wars Celebration. I believe a lot of people will be at Star Wars Celebration. So if you've even considered going and you don't want to go to the convention, but you want to meet all of us, come to Star Wars Celebration. Come to Chicago to hang out with all of us in the High Council. We'll be there for sure. I bought my tickets. Jeremy's getting the hotel stuff worked out. We'll be there, and you're just going to have a great time. That's all I can say is you're going to have a great time. Let's see. Here we go. During the 90s, I think there was a My Little Pony show for girls with the same strawberry shortcake. I think, wasn't that the 80s? I never watched those. I know Strawberry Shortcake, my cousin was into it before I was born because my mom dated that guy from Kenner, and she used to take her free Kenner toys. EVS is popular with truck driver. Hey, all that pie's got to help with something. Nah. Winx Club. I remember that show. Yeah, that was on in the 90s, right? Kevin Smith, not a full black dude. That's Dion. Mix of many things, but glad you like me lots. Do a live stream when you're out at Celebration. We're going to do more than a live stream. We're actually, like, when I talk about the channel growth and thanking everybody, it's not like it's just going to dumb shit like, hookers and blow. No, I've been getting equipment. We're going to be going live from the show most of the weekend we're there. So I don't want to spoil any surprises for you, but we're going to have World Class Bullshitters satellite channels and all kinds of stuff that you guys need to be subscribed to that weekend. Make sure that you guys do nothing but hang around your phones because that's going to be a crazy time. I'm going to live stream us coming in to the city. I'm going to live stream us leaving the city and all the stuff that we're in there. We're going to document it. And if you want to be on the channel and you're in person, you are more than welcome to join us and be on the live stream. So if you see us when we're live streaming, come up and say hey. The Grand Inquisitor, thank you very much. Have you seen the Amazon Studios live action Tick? Yes, I have. Every episode. Kendo's watched every episode twice. Fantastic show. When I watched the first half, I couldn't wait for the second half. And then when I watched the second half, couldn't wait for the second season. Loved it 100%. We'll watch again. Have Amazon Prime Instant Streaming because of Kendo, but I'm waiting anxiously for season 2. That it was something that really excited me because it was a non-Marvel Netflix show that I enjoyed enough that I want to just support with my time and possibly action figures. If they put them out, I will buy those. Plus, I absolutely love Peter from Shaun of the Dead. What's his fucking real name? I can't think of it all of a sudden. Peter Serafinowicz. That dude. Awesome actor. I love his voice for the Tick. Love his voice for Darth Maul. Just a funny dude all around. How about a WCBS flak jacket for Celebration? Should we be worried? Wait for Thin Entertainment? Maybe we'll get something. We'll just get a bulletproof turkey suit for all of us. We filmed the Tick near my house. It was very easy to get a set. Oh, maybe we'll show up for season 2. Or a World Class Bullshitters t-shirt in the background. Speaking of that, our friend Jeremy Peerboom was on an episode of American Ninja, and he wore his Dong Lover shirt, and he made it on the show. I'm waiting for him to get a clearer screenshot, but he shared it with me, and it's official. Go back and watch. I think it was last Monday's episode of American Ninja Warrior, and there's a Dong Lover shirt in the crowd, and that's our friend Jeremy. I haven't had a chance to check out the new Lost in Space series. I heard it's very woke, so I wasn't going to check it out. I'm glad it's got good character development and stuff like that. But I don't even have a connection to the original Lost in Space or the 90s movie. I had the toy, and that was about it. Let's see. Woke in Space. Dong lovers unite, you damn right. Always. A pandosexual story, whatever that shirt said, pansexual story. That'll be available when we do our website still. We're not getting rid of the Dong Lover shirt. That was oddly successful. Like a lot of people lined up to buy a damn shirt that said Dong Lover, a pansexual story. Let's see. I heard that, I used to go to the locations of Die Hard, They Live, and Terminator. Oh, JSP, that's awesome. So you went to the Nakatomi, well, it's not Nakatomi, was it the Fox Plaza or something like that? That was a pretty kick-ass. Die Hard is a fucking fantastic movie. So that means you saw the set of Airheads as well. Let's see. Lost in Space is boring. I haven't seen it. Dong lovers are pansexual. Check out the movie and the original 60s TV series. You loving both, including the new series on Netflix. Gamepad 31. Because you're here all the time, I'll give it an episode to check out. And if I like it, a little gamepad, then you turn me on to something that I love. And I will always remember that I put my faith in you and you put your faith in that, and I was entertained. So thank you very much. It sucks they closed those water ducts from T2. I wanted to drive in them. I know you weren't talking to me, but yeah, in Grand Theft Auto, they have similar driving areas for the game, and that's a lot of fun. I like to imagine I'm playing Terminator 2 when I play that game sometimes. This reminds me of Vector Man. Yeah, it reminds me of Vector Man too. Vector Man was so awesome. My friend Brandon had it, and even though he was rocking the Genesis during the N64 era, we still played Vector Man, and then he had a Super Nintendo, and we played Uni Racers, and those were 2 fun games that I miss. Have I checked out the Stephen King story-based Castle Rock? Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes of Darth Durkle, the Wise Ass. I was impressed, just didn't have the time to watch them. So when I go up here in a few minutes, going to work on the comic, but maybe today is a cardio day at the gym. Maybe I'll watch it there. That's where I watched the first episode and I liked it. Danger, danger, my arms are flailing wildly. So do you guys have anything else you'd like me to say? I'm thinking we'll close this out at 10:30 this morning. So we went an extra 30 minutes. So I gave you some more Good Morning Pop Culture. You know, it is one of the pillars of the World Class Bullshitters channel. We have this. We have the podcast. We have the live streams, the High Council, and soon the comic book. You see, the foundation of our channel only gets stronger with Stealing Solo. It moves up. So instead of having 4 pillars, we have 5. So the weight's even more distributed. And soon we'll have so many things that we do that will never take away from the other thing. It'll just be a continuation of entertainment for you guys. So, Dylan Kerbal, you have a good day, my friend. Get to work, even though you can't be working and lurking. We'll be hoping you do it well. Say it, Jeff. You love me. I love the Riva Kiss 2790. Good morning from Wednesday. Oh, shit. We reached the future. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a busy dude, but like I said, when I keep myself busy like this, I get so much done. If I sat around and did nothing and then did little bits here and there, I wouldn't be as motivated. Like I said, going from this to the comic to the live council, the high council tonight after the gym, it's like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm a very lucky man to have what I have, and thank you to everyone out there. Is there a launch date for the World Class Bullshitters website? Liquor Gym, after Stealing Solo, will be focused on that. Like I said, now that I have the means and the know-how to make the merchandise, you guys are going to get better quality stuff from me. Hell, I may even offer a small feature where you could customize your shirt and join the World Class Bullshitters fandom that way. So we'll get to that. Cesare Japan says Stealing Solo will make $1 million. Hey, that's the goal, the dream. Imagine that. And you know what? I can imagine we can make it happen. Guys, like I keep telling you, I don't want to make Good Morning Pop Culture Stealing Solo the advertising edition, but I will mention it to see how it's going because it's kicking ass. But it's going to be huge. It's going to be bigger than anything we can possibly imagine. Like Obi-Wan says, you've taken your first step into a larger world. Well, that's what Stealing Solo is. And it's going to be crazy. It is crazy. It is insane. It is fun, first and foremost. And yeah, definitely. See, the thing is, I know everybody wants World Class Bullshitters merchandise, and I want it too. There has been some. But the thing is, I want to make it myself. I have seen Kendo and the guys get some of the shirts from my third-party printer that some of them are great. Some of them didn't turn out perfectly. And I care about that kind of stuff. You don't know me personally, but I'm a stickler for detail. There's shit I've drawn 5 times over and over because I care. Oh, the curvature of this leg is off, or this, that, and the other. I don't like the shadow here. Let me erase it. Let me redo it. It bothers me to a degree that I don't get to see what's being produced. And yeah, the channel's grown and a lot of shirts are going to sell. A lot of shit's going to move. But even if I'm taking the time to make it, I at least know that you guys are getting the best thing that I could possibly give you. So I want to make sure that we're doing it here in the house. And I want to add bonus things too. Like, for example, when you buy a shirt, you're going to get a little World Class Bullshitters business card. And now you're thinking, business cards aren't that cool. Ours are. They're rounded edges like a credit card. They got raised glossy images of us and the logos and all that shit. So I just want you guys to get little perks, little bonuses. And now that we got this shit rolling, we're going to do it a little better. I'm going to have World Class Bullshitter stickers and give out stuff to patrons, and you can win prizes here on the channel. So this year has been excellent in terms of growth, but next year is going to be even bigger. And the year after that, even bigger, because I'm not going anywhere. This show's not going anywhere. You guys aren't going anywhere. There's just going to be more and more and more that show up every day. And we have just an awesome community. So I know that's a roundabout way of telling you, you will get the website. You will get all that stuff. And it's going to be as good as everything else. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing it myself and doing it right. Thank you, Gavin Smith. Damn right I will. Let's see. All kinds of stuff popping up. Thank you guys so much. I hope the Bond thing works out as well. Thank you, Benobi, for sticking with us this morning and all your kind words. I saw Richard Iotti pop up. Again, I know I mentioned this last week, but Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. That is one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. And that's the only thing I really know him from. I haven't seen the IT crowd or the It crowd, depending on how people pronounce it, or some people pronounce it. But I will check him out. He's a fun actor. Thank you, Gamepad. Thank you very much. Merchandising. World Class Bullshitters t-shirts. WCBS cereal. WCBS flamethrower. It's funny, Grand Inquisitor. I actually have an idea for something cereal-based, but I'm not going to tell you guys yet. I got to look into the legality of selling a cereal, but I have to go through a third party. I'm not saying that's going to be happening anytime soon, but that is something I've written down as a list. I have an idea for it. We'll put it like that. WCBS shoes. Oh, man. Ooh, that would be a hard thing to do. Like, what I do get those canvas slipper things and then print them on there myself, because I don't know where to get a factory to make shoes. Love pillows. Yeah, we could do love pillows, like Dion in the turkey suit. Kendo, Nick, Big Rig, Nick Utam, and then myself with a microphone or something. Yeah, Gavin, if I could get the license to sell the World Class Bullshitters flamethrower, I would. World Class Bullshitters condoms, we've actually looked into that too. It's really too expensive to give out for free. We're talking you have to buy a lot of them for them to become cheap per item, and plus they have an expiration date and all this other shit. So condoms we've looked into. We actually looked into flash drives at one point too. So there's all kinds of stuff we're looking into, guys. World Class Bullshitters, alcohol. Yeah, down the road, man. We got to look into the legalities of some of that stuff. Don't want to accidentally sell it to some kid in, I don't know, Detroit. A World Class Bullshitters VHS set. We could do that. That'd be so wasteful. But we could sell a VHS collection. Horse saddles. Yeah, World Class Bullshitters horse saddles. I like that one 100%. World Class Bullshitters shirt for my 10-year-old goddaughter. I have all these designs that I've worked out for the website. We have a couple that say World Class BS, and most of them say World Class Bullshitters. But for some people that want to support the show, but work in an office or work somewhere, or you're a kid in school that really can't get your parents to buy a shirt that says bullshit on it, well, we know this isn't the jerk, and not every kid gets to wear the bullshit t-shirt and ride the train. But we got something for you too. So folks, that's in the coming future. Right now, we are stealing solo. We're that is our story. We're getting that out there into the world. It's kicking ass. I mean, seriously, in less than a week, it's already 66% past its goal. You can't stop awesome content. So we are a community that has proven that to them, the man, if you will, however you want to refer to them as. World Class Bullshitters has the best community in the world, not even just on the internet, in the world. And when you meet these people, and they listen to your show and they talk to you about this stuff and they tell you who they are, well, then you prove it right. So we are at 10:30 a.m. in the Eastern Standard Time. So it's time for us to get out of here. So folks, thank you to everyone who watches Good Morning Pop Culture. World Class Bullshit is the epitome of pop culture. This is the epitome of morning shows. It's a nice, relaxing way to start your week, get to work, get to school. You're probably at school at this point. It's 10:30, almost time for lunch. So if you're one of those kids that found a way to stream us while you're at school, you're the real MVP. And if you're at work, working and lurking, you are too. So folks, I'll be back tonight on the High Council over on Ethan's channel, Comic Artist Pro Secrets at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know exactly everything that's going on, so you'll have to watch. And I'll be back tomorrow with Good Morning Pop Culture, and I'll be letting you guys know about the update on the solo art as well as the progress, because when I show up on the High Council tonight, I'll be talking about it. So get yourselves a copy, get invested early, and be prepared, because it's going to blow your socks off. Thank you, Xavier, very much. I will keep up doing the good work, and I'll be back later on. Lino, I know you're almost out of work, my friend. Stay strong. You'll be able to handle it.